ladies and gentlemen. We build on topics, whether conscious or cosmic. It's never nonsense, mega levels are microscopic. It's a Killah Priest project, AD control the rocket. Before we land the plane, many things we engage and explain. The unexplained, without mask. Welcome to the Killah Priest podcast. Killah Priest podcast.
Yeah, buddy. What's happening, y'all? What's cracking? What's good? What's popping? What's new? Thursday. It's Thursday. What's happening? Welcome to the Killah Priest Podcraft. I'm your temporary host, AD Ross, engineer extraordinaire, holding it down for now. Priest is on his way doing his things. You already know. One of them days, he's going to be joining us on the Zoom very soon. Check. Yo, I got to check 1 2. Yeah, that's better, huh? Check 1 2. So yeah, that's what's up. What's good with y'all? What's happening? Where we at? What's good? Boom. There we go. Joseph Roberts in the house. The Ninja Genko. Greg Kelly 720. What's up? How you doing, man? What's good? But my meter is showing that my volume's low. I bet that's one of my filters. Just hold up. Noise, compressor, limiter. Output, bring this up. Check 1 2. Damn, why does it look like it's low? Can y'all hear me okay? My meter's not going up. Check. Yeah, okay, there we go. I think the compression's not holding it down like it. 22. Check. Yeah. Okay, that's a little bit better. Fixing the compression. So what's good, y'all? What's happening? He's gonna be joining us soon. I'm gonna get the Zoom up and running right now. So, you know how we've got Solar Effects says another day in paradise. Ultra Instinct says, "Nah, you're loud and clear." Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just looking at these meters. I think I just fixed it right now. I think it was a compression. The thing is that I'm not using the headset mic anymore. Remember, I used to wear the headset. Because my other headset at my club broke, so I had to replace it with the one I have. Then I figured, let me just use the regular mic instead of the headset here because this is just a nicer quality. Getting in. So what's new? So we're gonna freestyle the topics for now until Priest joins us here. You were wrong, Amy. UI Amy 19 says peace AD G Day 8. Yeah. Joseph Roberts says, as the honeymooners used to say, bang zoom to the moon. All right. That's what's up. Hitting the sign in button. I feel like we're still in this retrograde right now. Okay, let me just close this. How many of y'all are going through technical difficulty? Losing phones, computer problems, accounts, crazy situations, technical situations. How many of y'all are going through that still right now or did? Wow, I can't even sign into Zoom. There we go. Check that. Oh, you're you, I am I. Okay, that's what's up. You're you, I am I. I'm getting this room popping. Brand new whip just hopped in. What's popping? Brand new whip just hopped in. Talking about track is that? All right. Don't mind me, y'all. I'm always doing last minute things and stuff, so bear with me. I'm supposed to be the behind the scenes guy. Now I'm the behind the scenes and front of the scenes guy. But it's alright. We keeping it rocking. Let me get my sound effects. Those ain't working today either. There we go. There's my sound effects so I can pretend I'm funny. All right, so we are ready for Priest to join. Right here. Bam. Know what I'm saying? So let's see if he joins or the guest that he has in mind joins. Otherwise, I'm gonna just start playing the piano just to pass the time. Know what I'm saying? That's what I'm gonna be doing. All right. So where we at? Where we at? What we got going on? Flying Arrow says, "What up? I'm parked downtown. Word, downtown LA." Let's see what happened here. SLS says my refresh be stuck in retrograde. Someone did a fire joint with silver rings. Yeah, I'm funny. I'm funny looking. Technically we're out of retrograde, but we're not. I shouldn't say technically. Generally, we're out of retrograde, but technically we're not. We're still in the shadow. So there's a shadow period to where things catch up. So, I mean, you might feel some clarity this week, today, and, you know, moving forward a little bit. But until the end of August, we're still like feeling effects of retrograde, still some misunderstandings, still not a good time to sign contracts. Yeah, you could ask ChatGPT about more details, but you'll notice it. Look at how much BS your homies might be going through. Relationship problems. And you wonder why they all start to happen around a certain time. You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence where you'll have a day where like, how come everything's happening at once? Do you know what I mean? That's when you know that's some astrological influence happening. Okay, see, now that I'm speaking up, I can see the volume meters are looking better. Now I can drop it down a little bit. Yeah. The real son, hey, play that ish, AD. So that's what's up with that. I'm trying to jam out. I know, right? I'll be playing the keys. If Priest don't join soon and we don't get the guest he has scheduled soon, I'll just start tearing up them keys. Yeah, man. Thank you. Okay, let's see where we got. Yeah, I threw it up to on my thread, so something locked down my shareability a week ago. See? Instagram problems, all that. After retrograde, you're supposed to feel things moving forward and less BS happening. You won't be so late to work. There'll be less traffic. It's this weird. It's the most noticeable. I think one of the most noticeable astrological phenomena. Hybrid Cypher says, I've been experiencing extreme stuff, man. Yo, so with the 5 planets in retrograde, I guess it's 4 now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening right now. That's not a coincidence that you're going through these extreme things right now, bro. So just take all the lessons down. You know what I mean? I've been going through some stuff too. It's kind of dumb, but it's still like learning experiences. You know what I mean? I quit potatoes. I know, man. I made these potatoes the other day, and I cooked them up. I was trying to like do kind of like a lower carb type of thing. So instead of rice, I'm like, let me switch it up to potatoes, yo. Didn't work out. Didn't like the way I felt. Felt off. My mind was off for 2 days afterwards. Felt weird. Potatoes just ain't for me, man. So that was one of my retrograde experiences. I know, like I said, it's dumb, but it's little things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when retrograde happens, you go back to things. You know what I mean? You might try going back to weed again. You might try going back to this. Your ex might try to be coming back. It's always about revisiting and reliving things that you used to do, or all kinds of stuff. You might revisit things. So I was like, let me go back to potatoes. Not a good idea. Well, I just overdid it. I think I had like the meat to potato ratio was off. I had way too many potatoes because I was just like, why not? It tastes good. But the way it made me feel, man, I went back to basmati rice. So I'd be on that beef and basmati rice, chicken and basmati rice, because it's about digestion. Good digestion. Okay, I'm missing questions here. Hold on. Yeah, Real Sun says, no wonder I felt the change in the force. Yeah, man. You could like literally feel it if you're very intuitive and able to pay attention. Let's see. Joseph Roberts is quoting, what is that, Casino? You're doing a Joe Pesci. So I make you laugh? Like funny how? So yeah, man. Okay. Flying Arrows. I'm on the East Coast, AD. Worcester tonight. Near Boston and Providence, Hartford. Nice. A lot of stuff. Potatoes, yeah, man. Tomato hybrid. Yeah, not everyone can agree with nightshades. But I don't think I suffered a nightshade situation. I just think it was just maybe too much starch at once. But I never have a problem with rice. Ever have a problem with rice. I can have 2 cups of rice and no problem. But potatoes, there's something in there. I don't know if it's like the solane they talk about, or it's more than just the starch, man. There's something in there that just makes you, it raises your serotonin a little bit too much. It makes you feel too chill. It's one of the same reasons why I don't drink tea. Tea makes me feel too chill. I think it's the tannins. I don't like to be that relaxed. I like to be relaxed, but there's an uncomfortable relaxed. Too many bananas do the same thing too. Maybe it's the potassium. I don't know. I got a multivitamin I take, so my potassium's covered. And I drink what's this called? Body Armor. So my potassium's covered. But if I have too many bananas or potatoes, I think it's the serotonin, man. I'll be honest. Too much serotonin. I want to maintain the dopamine. Dopamine to serotonin ratio. But that's another subject. I could show you videos talking about how serotonin is not the happy hormone. It's actually a stressor. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you need some, but if you have too much serotonin, it's stress. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go into that right now. Okay, anyway, that's just an example of going back to something. You know what I mean? But we should be out of that by now. I'm only speaking as an astrological enthusiast. I am not an astrologer in any way. I just follow the real astrologers online and then talk about what I heard here on the show. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I gotta say, ultimately, it's all about rice is a great carb source along with fruit. So fruit for the vitamins and the fructose and the sucrose, and then rice is great for the glucose. Refill the glycogen. You know what I'm saying? You got to find what your balance is. But I've always been obsessed with balance. It could be my Libra rising, but like that's why I'm good at mixing, though. Mixing and mastering, like that's my world. You know what I mean? Making sure there's not too much bass. Make sure that snare is loud enough. Make sure this and that. So always just balancing this. You know what I mean? Like EQ this. Is it too much highs? Got to lower the highs to a point where it's obsessive. I get a little obsessive about it. I'll listen to a mix, go back. No, the bass is too low. If I don't feel goosebumps, if I don't feel like, oh, this is perfect, then it's not done. So that type of mindset spills over into the kitchen. I'll be making food. Oh, this is not enough salt. This is too much rice. These potatoes are making me feel a certain way. They're out. I'm done with potatoes. You know what I mean? So it's just another example of my mindset as being obsessed. It could be my OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. But I look at it like a gift. So it's an obsessive compulsive gift. I have OCG. You know what I'm saying? My obsessive compulsiveness is a gift. Even though I can drive myself crazy a little bit. But yeah, so that's why mixing and mastering, and not just in the studio, but in the kitchen. And but I like it because then it's like, okay, boom, now I know what not to eat, what to eat, boom, stick with it, have the same thing every other day. And that's that. Perfectionism, yeah, it can be a gift and a curse. But I'm happy for it because when you do get something perfect, like let's say a good mix, and you're really proud of it, you get a dopamine hit from that too. And that's like like when you're proud of all that hard work you did, man, that's where it's worth it too. You know what I mean? I've done recordings. If you guys follow me on Instagram or on YouTube, you see I posted some videos of me playing the keys. You don't know how many times I went back and redid it. And because I didn't like the way I played certain parts. Even now, I can go back to each video and be like, nah, it could have been better. I didn't like the way I did that. Do you know what I mean? But it was getting to a point where I needed to finish it. So, you know, time was against me. But I still was able to put it out. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. New MK video. Too much of anything is bad, yes. Too much air can't kill you. Well, I mean, it depends on what kind of air. The air has to be a good quality. If you want to talk about air, one game changer I've had was buying an air purifier, yo. Like a good one, a good air. I paid $130 for my air purifier. And it was around the time that we had the fires here in California, because there was a notice that we were all getting that the air was going to be bad in California because of those fires that happened in the upper LA region. Y'all remember that? That was last year, I think. And so the air was bad. So I didn't, hesitate. I went and gotten one of those air purifiers, a good one. And I turned it on and stuff. And it connects to your phone. And you can set it for pet mode, like if Priest has allergies with some mojito. And I was able to control it and everything. I'm like, okay, cool, like air purifier, whatever. Not a big deal. And then I went to bed with it on. Yo, I had the best, and I still do. I have the best night's sleeps, and it's because of that air purifier. I have it on a schedule because it comes with the app. So I set this air purifier on to go on right when I go to sleep. Turns off around when I wake up. And man, I'm just breathing better. So you want to breathe good while you're asleep. You know what I'm saying? And y'all might think, that's no big deal. Like, I got the window open. No. Get that air purifier on. There's something happens when you're just breathing that nice, clean air. You don't realize. I'm in LA, though, y'all. You have to realize the air is not that great in Los Angeles. And you don't even realize you're breathing in bad air because you're getting oxygen, too. So you're just like, whatever. I smell gas in the air, but what? You know what I mean? Like you can smell the unleaded sometimes gasoline in the air, but you're used to it. It's Los Angeles, You get used to the pollution, and your nose will get used to it. If you have a cat, you'll get used to the smell of the cat. To when you walk in, you don't even notice it anymore. But you have a stranger come in, they're like, "Oh wow, you have a cat," and you're like, "I don't smell anything." Because the nose will have the ability to be used to it. Anyway, air purifier made a big difference. If y'all don't have one, y'all need to get one. Because if you improve the quality of your sleep, you improve the quality of your life. I see sleep as more of a priority than food, y'all. You better sleep good first and then eat good at least second, because it's all about recovery, I could talk about this all day. Anyway, I just brought that up because you were talking about air. Just you see how we freestyle topics? Whatever y'all put in the chat, that's where the topic's at. We're waiting for a priest to join us on the Zoom. In case y'all are wondering, what the hell are we doing? What's AD rambling about? Yeah, I got my box open here. Okay, so we're just waiting to see when priest is gonna join us here very soon, and or when our guest is gonna be joining us here. Okay, we got a question about the air purifier. It says how much it costs you. AD is around $130. I'm gonna bring it on screen, and then I'm gonna put the link in the description because the one I got isn't the super duper one, but it's not the cheap one either. It was dope. Obviously, I'm not sponsored by it, but I'll put the link in the description. Let me bring it on screen. Okay, give me a second because I gotta remove the main camera. And then I gotta, boom. Amazon is where it's at, y'all. Okay, I paid $109, $110. There it is. You can see right there. I purchased it on March 19th. Oh, I guess that's when the fires were. Levoit air purifier, 1,000 square feet. It's got basically 5 stars, man. This thing is a nice air purifier. I actually got one from my folks. So, this is the one to get, or this is one you can get. There's a bunch of them out there, but the reason why I like this one too is that it connects to your it connects to the Wi-Fi in your house, so you can control it from when you're away. You can control it from anywhere. You can turn it on anytime, and it'll tell you. So it has a sensor, and it'll say the air's bad right now. I'm gonna turn on. You can put on automatic. It'll automatically turn on if it senses the air is bad. So basically, it turns on every time I cook. But it's not because the cooking's bad. It's because it smells smoke. You know what I mean? Or it notices. It can see that there's particles in the air, and it's time to purify. So it'll automatically turn on if it notices, poor quality air. And then you could schedule it to come on at any time. So mine's scheduled to come on every single night. And man, it's one of the greatest things I've gotten this year. So happy with it. Mostly because of the quality of the sleep. So that's why it's improved my life, man. And I know it seems like it's not a big deal. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, so what, AD? No. It's a big deal, bro, because I'm sleeping so much better and more peaceful because I'm breathing better. And I used to smoke weed like a lot, so getting quality air in your lungs is crucial. I put the link in the description to this exact product, man, if y'all want to check it out. I mean, get whatever one you want. This is the one that I got. Just so I wanted to share with y'all because game changer, and it's got several filters in it, so it helps out a lot, especially if you have pets. There's a pre-filter you could wash in there. It has an air quality monitor, 1,000 square feet, only $110, man. It was worth it. Worth it. Okay, so enough commercial stuff right there. Mojito, a real cat. Yeah, man. So that should answer your question. Shout out to 99 Cam, son. Big city smell. Yeah. Smog, bro. But the thing is, you don't realize how much you're in the smog when you live here. I could look out the window and be like, it's perfectly clean air. It's fresh. I got trees. But it's what you can't see that can harm you. But you'll notice it when you sleep. You quit last month? That's cool, man. Yeah, I wasn't trying to quit completely, but weed's a whole other topic. But I'm still gonna have cannabis strategically. strategic cannabis smoking. When it's time to be creative. Yeah, buddy. How many of y'all are subscribed to my channel, though? Yeah. See, this is why I had the headset mic, so you could be able to, I'd be able to move around more. This thing is blocking. There you go. Now you can see the keys. Now you can see the keys. There you go. 99 Cam went singing the Linkin Park. Man, it's sad how he went out, man. I think he was taken out. Jedi Mind Tricks. Yeah. Okay, but we gotta keep it Killah Priest. Like, what can we play? What Killah Priest song should we play along to?
Left and see this girl inflate. Blessed he who elevate. Set the tea and meditate. Rain splash off of the stained glass.
We do that one. Let's see. I mean, because we could make beats all day. Jazz it up. Yeah, I feel like the classical piano is more fitting, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, how'd you like that? Little keyboard freestyle. Thank you, bro. I know, right? Oh, man. We got our guest here now. Perfect timing. Perfect timing, Mr. Master Student. I was trying to keep them all entertained, you know what I'm saying? We got the one and only Master Student from TV in the building, y'all. There he goes. Peace, peace. He's getting his audio together. I hear you.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
Peace and love, good brother. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, man? What's going on? Welcome back.
All is truly well. Thank you for asking, and it's always a pleasure to be here with you and the family. Shout out to Killah Priest. Shout out to AD, the Podcraft, all of the family listening live, and those who are going to catch this later. Peace and love to the family.
That's what's up, man. Nice, man. Glad you joined right at the perfect time. I had just finished doing a little freestyle, hip hop, classical piano type of thing. I'm not even sure what I was doing, but it was fun.
I didn't know you were really that. You were really nice.
Thanks, man. I mean, it's a fun thing. I'm just staying in C minor, so I kind of do a fun little thing. There's certain keys I'm only hitting. I stay in the blues scale. It's kind of the safe zone. But yeah, I enjoy it. Especially combined with the hip hop.
Very, very impressive. A man of many, many talents. True indeed.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. It's all for the love of music at the end of the day. So, what is today's topic? What are we on to today? What are we talking about? What's going on?
Yeah, I've been going down a rabbit hole with this whole Epstein situation,
Oh
and
man, you're going right in.
yeah, the truth is stranger than fiction. To be honest with you, I think we got the whole Epstein thing wrong,
Oh
and
really?
it's worse than what you could have imagined, if that's even possible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am not well versed on the most recent um findings and updates. I just remember what the whole thing was. I think pre-election. But yeah, by all means, bless us with your recent findings.
Yes, absolutely. Always a pleasure. Yeah, I
Are we?
sent the request to share
Oh,
screen.
we're doing screen share. Got you. Let me set it up. Hold on. Oh, there it is.
Take your time. Yep.
Boom, got it. All right, and I'm gonna unshare on my end. Okay, setting you up on your end. 1 second. Zoom is weird nowadays. Okay, you are clear.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, let's see what we got here.
And then once you screen share, I'll be able to set up a little better on my end here.
Okay, I gotta fix that. Here we go. Screen.
Because I have a fourth screen now. I'm running 4 screens over here. It's crazy.
Wow.
So when you come back here, you'll see. It looks like CNN. You know what I mean? Okay, so let me make some adjustments here before you proceed.
Take your time. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing.
Okay, cool. Okay. All right. And got you set up there. And then I'm gonna put you in the corner here. All right, almost ready. Okay. And you are clear.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay. So as you can see by the the title, we're dealing with clones. E- Epstein and clones. So let's get right into it.
Whoa.
Family, believe it or not, Epstein is not a pervert. He's a mad, juicy scientist
Mm.
trying to recreate the world in his own image, just like his juicy God in Genesis. So we know that there's supposed to be some type of deal where Maxwell is set to testify. And people are saying that her testifying, let me get this thing, I can't see. She's saying that Bill Gates ran a cloning facility under Epstein Island, according to Maxwell. So, Crumb, I didn't even know she testified. That hasn't gotten out to the public yet. Well, you're absolutely right. This is actually a classified testimony that was leaked by a white hat, which is a good hacker, a white hat operative, who said Maxwell exposed the real purpose of Epstein Island. It's not just a hub for trafficking, but it's a full scale deep state cloning facility run by Bill Gates, backed by CIA, Mossad, and globalist billionaires. Thousands of lab grown children bred beneath the surface in military grade biotech chambers where they were manufactured using stolen DNA and wired for total mind control through neural plants connected to Microsoft servers. This was not no 1+1 X trafficking. Why can't I? The whole X trafficking situation, believe it or not, that was a cover. What was really going on? Mass production of programmable human replicas, spiritually hollow, genetically subdued, and destined for elite control. I think some movies call them sleeves. So if that sounds crazy, remember Geek Wired. Now, remember, Maxwell testified that Bill Gates ran a cloning facility. Geek Wire reported in an article titled, Why Bill Gates Thinks Gene Editing and Artificial Intelligence Could Save the World. In this particular article, I suspect that Bill Gates is alluding to Project Genesis. What's Project Genesis? All right, well, here, let me slow down. Let's back up. Project Genesis was launched after a 2003 Bohemian Grove summit where Gates, Epstein, and a dozen Bilderberg liaisons who greenlit a plan to replace natural humans with synthetic clones. Ghislaine revealed that children were raised by AI caregivers. They were implanted with biometric chips and they were monitored. Their monitoring was going down at Redmond, Washington. This is Gates' headquarters. And this was all under the guise of quantum research. GeekWire taps in again with an article titled Rebooting Redmond. This is the headquarters for Bill Gates. Microsoft's new campus reflects ongoing transformation, uncertain future. Just wanted to kind of give you a glimpse of what headquarters even looks like. Oh, Epstein Island. Okay, well, what about what Bill Gates got going on? In addition to Epstein Island. That's all I'm saying. So the clones are placed in elite. I'm sorry, here. Let me breathe. Brother, what say you?
I got nothing. I'm just watching. It's interesting. It reminds me of iRobot with the clones thing.
Which is a classic.
Mm-hmm.
So the clones are placed in elite families. They're placed in fake adoption pipelines. My picture is blocking. Move this out the way. Okay. And even given child actor roles, that's to shape public perception from birth. If you look down here at the bottom, remember, we saw Miley Cyrus grow up. We saw her as a child. We saw Britney Spears as a child. Now, some of these people weren't from birth. Some of these people were birthed in institutions. We saw where Gucci Mane, he went to jail and he came back. I don't know if that was Gucci. Kodak Black. Family, the only reason Kodak Black is out. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me back up. Brother, do you know why Kodak Black is not in jail right now?
Why?
Trump pardoned him.
I didn't even know that.
Trump pardoned Kodak Black. That's the only reason he's not in jail. When Kodak Black came out of jail after the Trump pardon, a lot of people said that was a clone. Dave Chappelle, after the whole Africa situation,
Yeah.
a lot of people said Dave Chappelle never came back from Africa. That was a clone.
I find that hard
I,
to believe.
what, Dave Chappelle?
Of him being a clone?
I mean, this Dave Chappelle don't even look like the other. When Dave Chappelle came back from Africa, he looked different. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, but he could have been eating different. He could have been on HGH. A lot of these actors would be on, testosterone enhancers and this and that, or new diets. I'm always playing devil's advocate though.
He didn't say any of that. Because remember, after he came back, everybody asked him, because everybody said he was on crack in Africa.
Oh wow.
I don't know if HGH is crack, but everybody that's what I heard. Hey, he's in Africa smoking crack.
Man.
Maybe it was HGH crack.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that celebrities have access to. I don't know. It's an interesting theory. It's just we don't know the to the extent that that cloning actually can work. You know what I mean? It seems such a sci-fi type of deal. We don't know how advanced it really is. But you could be right.
Well, we already clone sheep. Cloning is like it's definitely it's not like we don't have the science. So it's definitely possible. We clone animals.
Yeah, rumor has it we clone chicken, and that's what they're serving at KFC, and that's why KFC is not allowed to say Kentucky Fried Chicken anymore. You notice that?
You better teach.
That's not Kentucky Fried Chicken, and it won't say it anywhere. It says KFC. Everything in their label says KFC. It doesn't say the word chicken because they're not legally allowed to say it is because it's supposedly cloned meat, which is interesting. Yeah. I haven't had KFC in a while. I remember when I was young, it was really good. And then I had it maybe like 10 years ago, and I didn't have a good experience with it. But I digress. Shout out to Popeyes. I like Popeyes.
Shout out to Popeyes. It's so funny. So the clones are placed in elite families, fake adoption pipelines, and even given child actor roles to shape public perception from birth. But the defective clones are used in satanic rituals and filmed for blackmail leverage. The operation was so protected, even the Rothschild network helped mask it via submarine corridors. So the submarine corridor may be a little, wow, that's a lot, Crumb. Well, according to Mirror, and just in case the family is not hip, Mirror is the media company owned by Ghislaine Maxwell's father. So this is her daddy's company reporting this. According to Mirror, Jeffrey Epstein's alleged madam, Ghislaine Maxwell, could be hiding in a submarine. A new theory has emerged speculating that Maxwell could be hiding in a submarine after it was released. She had a license to pilot submersible vehicles. Who gets one of those?
Damn, submarine?
Yeah. It's pretty over the top. I think I want to, people say they want to learn how to fly, but I just, she's the first person I know by name who has a submarine license. So there you go. So the whole clone thing, it sounds crazy. Fair enough, no problem. But I just want to kind of zoom out and paint a bigger picture, because I know a lot of times the family boils it down to just, really oversimplistic things. He just wanted to diddle kids. Okay, maybe. But this is all wise around exact. Them doing this is in response to currently facing threats of global extinction. So this is our world in data. Data source, United Nations, World Population Prospects 2022. So this is as of 3 years ago, approximately, let's say 2. But anyway, we don't have to be brain surgeons or rocket scientists to read the chart. The line is going down. That's all I need to know. And it's been going down since the 60s. You know, the 60s was free love and flower power, and lots of babies were being made back then. And
Yeah.
apparently after that, you know, the the ABOR, words,
Mm-hmm.
TION took place. But yeah, so the chart, as we can see, it ends at 2020, the solid lines, and we start to see some dotted lines or perforated lines. And those are speculations. So they're speculating that there's going to be a global collapse by, it looks like about 2090, let's say 2100. So in the next 100 years, we're going to see some type of extreme population collapse, is what our world in data is projecting. So if we're going to say that these things are crazy, let's just kind of put things in perspective. So before I go to the next slide, I wanted to ask you, brother, what's the number one law of life
Law of life. Ooh, that's
or
a
the universe or the cosmos? The number one law of the universe, the number one law of nature, or whatever the case may be.
um I always knew it to be like growth and then existence and then transcendence.
Let me just check the comments real quick. Mm,
That's
mm.
how I would put it.
Okay, I didn't see anything. Self-preservation.
Okay.
Number
Oh
one
yeah.
law of life is self-preservation. The universe just wants to exist. It doesn't even care.
This reminds me of the speech that was given in the movie Lucy by what's that famous actor with the voice?
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Remember he gave a speech about um life preservation and how a cell would get to a point where it needs to do fight or flight. That's very reminiscent of what you're speaking on. Great movie, by the
Factory.
way.
Yeah, classic. So we just saw this situation where uh the line was going down. Let's just say that, keep it simple, keep it layman. So this is Crumb, cloning is crazy. Well, the number one law of life is self-preservation.
Mm.
And we know the universe doesn't care. The universe doesn't care about incest. The universe doesn't care about grape. The universe doesn't care about war. The universe just wants to survive. It just wants to exist by any means necessary. There is no limit to the universe existing, and it's not existing within the spectrum of understanding that we have. It's just existing however that may be. And that's the rule of life. Nothing greater than that rule. So here we are at how we're going to see the future. Countries with the lowest fertility rates. So all of the orange ones are Asian countries. The blue ones are European countries. The number one, the top blue one, well, actually, one, two, three, four, five, six. Out of the top six, five of those are Asian. Out of the top six, uh, Ukraine is the number one country. This is super duper important when we're talking about cloning.
Mm.
Ukraine is going extinct. You have to have a birth rate of 2.1. The global average is 2.3. Ukraine is at a 1.2. And that's not even an accurate number. Ukraine, the accurate number as of the most up to date information is 0.98. Ukraine has a zero birth rate. Even if you don't know anything about anything, zero's bad.
So they're not making babies, or they weren't making babies in 2024. I mean, they were in the middle of a war. You know.
Now, this crisis was going on before the war, but
Mm.
Ukraine is in the worst situation of any country in the world. You have one of the lowest birth rates in the world. In addition to, you are currently at war, meaning people in Ukraine aren't living to their natural lifespan like you and me. In America, most of us are going to live until 70 or something. In Ukraine, because of the whole war situation, they're transitioning a lot earlier as one would imagine.
Interesting.
So Yeah. With that said, the only list for black, or the only black country that's not on that list, because that list not is not up to date. Ukraine
Mm.
is not at a 1.2. Ukraine is at a 0.
Mm.
The only other country that's black that's not on that list that should be on that list is Jamaica. Jamaica recorded 17% decline in birth rate between 2001 and 2021. Now remember, to be a healthy nation, you have to be at a 1.5 or higher. Jamaica's at a 1.3. Jamaica's going extinct. Ukraine's going extinct. Taiwan is going extinct. Singapore, these countries will not exist in 100 years. Every country that I'm reading off to you will not exist in 100 years, and Jamaica is on that list. Oh, that's white people. That's not us. Oh, yes, that's brothers too. That's ninjas too. That's the Caribbean too. That's black people too. Jamaica has recorded a decline in its birth rate between 2001 and 21. This has led to the island facing a rapidly aging population. Live births fell from 39,000, let's say about 40,000, to a little bit more than 30,000 babies being born in terms of the last year. Jamaica is going extinct. So now, I was asking ChatGPT, this is just a screenshot. I said chat, I meant to say what? What country has recovered from a 1.3 birth rate? I was being generous. I didn't know how bad it was. ChatGPT says, if you're asking whether any country has recovered from a 1.3 birth rate, meaning total fertility rate of 1.3 children per woman, the answer is no country has ever successfully and sustainably returned to replacement level, which is 2.1, after falling that low, at least not yet. In the history of the world, no country has ever gone below 1.5 and survived and to tell the story. Yeah, that country, they went below 1.5 and came back. It's never happened. 1.5 is the magic number. These countries are below 1.5. The only country not on that list is Jamaica. Jamaica's at a 1.3. Ukraine is at a 0.
Now, wait, it shows Japan at 1.4.
Japan is in a very bad situation. There will be no Japan in 100 years.
Interesting. So the ones in red, oh, I see. Okay.
That's Africa. There's only one in Africa. That's Mauritarius.
Okay.
Mauritius, excuse me.
So the more red the color, the more in danger it is.
No, it's color coded by
Oh, okay.
nation, country. So anything orange is Asia.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
Asia is the leading. The Asian countries are there will be no Asian countries in 100 years. There will be no Taiwan, no South Korea, no Singapore, no Hong Kong, no Makua, or however you pronounce it, no Japan. These countries are all going extinct. So now when I tell you, because right now I'm building context. Crumb, you sound crazy. What would make a person ever want to go and clone people? Well, in the face of extinction, you can't judge a man for what he do, because all he want to do is survive, and he wants to survive by any means necessary. That's the law of the universe. Ain't no law higher than universal law. Amen, church. I'm just being funny.
What do you think the reason is that they're not creating so many kids?
Oh, well, a lot of them weren't even real humans to begin with. I'll explain in just a second.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So it says no country, I'm pointing like you can see my finger. No country has successfully and sustainably returned to replacement, which is a 2.1 after falling below. I put a 1.3, and they said why it matters. Total fertility of 1.3 is well below replacement rate needed to maintain a stable population without immigration. Point number two, once fertility rates hit below 1.5, I was being generous. I thought it was 1.3. Skynet said no. Once you get to 1.5, you at ultra low fertility. That's what Skynet says.
Mm.
Everybody on my list right here is all below 1.5. The number one European country below 1.5 is Ukraine. Ukraine is actually at a 0, and Ukraine is at war. Desperate times call
Well,
for
desperate measures.
Yes, sir.
We've all heard the idea that if you want to destroy a country, you manipulate their food supply. So it's just a theory that, because Ukraine's being attacked at the moment, and you said it's at 0. Do you know what I mean? Like, one of the tactics that Russia perhaps was using was kind of infiltrating their water and or their food supply. That would probably do exactly what's happening now, whether it be with endocrine disruptors or even plastic, putting plastic. It could be fluoride, like extra fluoride, like more than we get over here. So many things that they can put into the water. Even we in the U.S. are at risk because water filtration can't really stop certain chemicals, especially when girls be taking the birth control pill. Do you know what I mean? That those chemicals still last into the system, and they come back into our water. Even with all the filtration, you might still have, hormonal disruptors happening in there that came from something else that it's in our supply. Go ahead.
The only word you said that I disagree with is might.
Oh,
Ain't no
wow.
might in it.
Mm.
Most indubitably.
Yeah.
But I had to just pull up some receipts for you. This
Yeah.
is Ukraine's fertility rate. So yeah, my little PowerPoint, it has it at a 1 point. I don't even know. I can't remember. What does it say in the PowerPoint? It says 1.2. So clearly the source is old. The most up to date is Ukraine is at a 0.98. Just to kind of let everybody know how bad it is. They're at a 0 in real life, in real time.
Wow.
And let me just go check Jamaica just in case anybody's in denial about that one, because Jamaica's not on the list. Jamaica. I'm sure I spelled it super wrong, but whatever. Jamaica's at a 1.36. No country has ever come back when they went below 1.5. No country has ever come back from 1.5. Jamaica's
Damn.
gone.
Oh my goodness.
I see Bahamas on the list too. Bahamas gone. Where's Bahamas?
Now,
Yeah, ain't gonna be.
I'm not trying to be funny, but
Mhm.
could it perhaps be the weed is so good that
Mm-mm.
because sometimes when you smoke, you might be like, I don't ever want no kids. You know what I mean? That's one theory.
Right, right.
And you also
Well,
got the other
the-
theory
the-
that if you smoke way too much, you really just don't want to, engage in any relations. That's what indica does for me, at least.
Yeah, no. Black countries are the exception.
Mm.
Most black countries they're having too many babies.
Oh wow.
But yeah, those countries I showed you are the exceptions. Most of the countries it's almost a completely Asian and white list, with the Asians being at the top.
Mm.
But yeah, let's move on. Uh, yeah, Ukraine is the number one European country on this list, and this is just a little screenshot. Trump had said he's not happy with Putin because he's unaliving a lot of people. That's what Trump has been saying, and he's saying that for good reason, for the simple fact that there's just not a lot of them left. They're in a very bad situation. The Asian countries are, they're the leaders in this metric, which is horrible. So much so, Japan is the last hope. Japan has created the first artificial womb. I don't know if you got that. That was this year. They announced this year Japan has a fully operational womb. So, a lot of people are going to say, oh, that's crazy. Well, if you were going extinct, would it be crazy then? I think a lot of us are maybe in a privileged situation where we have children.
Mm.
And a part of what we're talking about when we come to birth rate is median age. Japan median age So when we say median age, brother, how old is the average person in Japan in your mind? How old do you think they are? The average person in Japan, how old are they?
I don't even know, but I mean, you have it on screen already.
Yeah.
Wow.
The average person in Japan is 50 years old.
I mean, so
The a-
they got a lot of elders.
yeah.
I mean, it could also be a good sign too to see the longevity.
No. No.
You know,
No babe. No. No, 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 no.
I'm trying
No.
to play devil's advocate. I'm trying to see the
Well,
light in the
well,
situation.
Japan birth rate. Japan's done. They're barely having one child. The average woman in Japan doesn't have a uterus. The average woman in Japan doesn't have a uterus. And the girls that do have a uterus are barely having one child. Japan's done.
It's got to be
So,
something in the food because they've been eating the same stuff. I mean, traditionally, the traditional Japanese diet was always the same, type of food, unless they changed their dietary things. Is it because we have McDonald's there now? It's got to be something in the food in it can't be the air because not much has changed as far as
France,
their tradition.
France birth rate 1.6. Germany, this is Germany. Hold on.
I'm curious on who has the highest birth rate right now.
Africa.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. I told you, black people are this is not, when I bring up Jamaica, that's the exception. Oh, crumb. Because when I talk to black people, they're like, oh, they don't got nothing to do with black people. For the most part, no, it doesn't have anything to do with black people. This is a white and Asian problem. But, of the black people who are in the running, you're going to have
That's interesting.
Jamaica. But this is up to date South Korea. Because on my
Mm,
list, for South Korea, we got 1.1. In real life, it's 0.7.
that's crazy.
So now, South Korea median age, and we're
Now,
gonna get to cloning in just a second.
we're also kind of speculating a lot based on biology. We're talking
Please
about
elaborate.
maybe it's food, maybe it's the air, but we should also consider the possibility of the mindset. They have access to more information now. We all have internet now. We can go into how it's the age of Aquarius now. Maybe the mindset of reproduction has changed. Maybe people are deciding, biology or not, having a mental thing to be like, let's maybe we don't need to have kids. You know what I mean? Like there might be a psychological aspect to consider here rather than just the idea that they're being poisoned.
Well, I didn't say they were being poisoned.
I know I did. I immediately thought, oh, it's something in the water. Oh, it's something in the food. But I'm just speaking out loud. I'm also considering the idea it's a psychological situation. Also, I mean, who knows
Yeah, I was
what?
gonna say, like, this is almost all the white and European countries. I'm sorry, the white and Asian countries. So if you want to say poison, you're gonna have to say all the Asian and all the European countries' food is poisoned. I
Hmm,
think that's a little bit of a stretch. That's
yeah,
when we're dealing with all the Asian and all the European countries, it's gonna have to be a little bit more than food,
then
respectfully.
biology. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that just draws more questions. Like, is it something in the media? Is it just natural psychological? And how often do these dips happen? How far back can we go to see where there would be a rise? We know about the baby boomer. We call them boomers for a reason because there was a baby boom back in the what was it, the 60s, like you just mentioned, the 60s and 70s, the baby boom era. Where
Yeah.
so it's like the stock market. You're gonna see things go up, and then you're gonna see things going down. And when you look at crypto or you look at Bitcoin and stock market, they always say, when in doubt, zoom out. So I'm just curious in zooming out into this, graph to see when did it also dip like this, and what are the odds of it bouncing back up?
Well, it's never bounced up
Oh,
from recorded history.
that's right. You did
You know,
mention that.
yeah. Well, that was according to Skynet. You can ask Skynet. Skynet has more
Yeah.
charts and can look at everything quicker than you and I.
Man.
Skynet said that's never happened before.
Wow.
Um,
Well, that answers that.
yeah. So Times Entertainment says 45% of women are going to be single and childless by 2030, according to Morgan Stanley study. So Times Entertainment, excuse me, of India, excuse me. They're just kind of going off what Morgan Stanley said.
2030.
Yeah.
That's only 5 years
And
from now, man.
in 5 years from now, 45% of American women will be single and childless.
I mean, one reason also is that you got a lot of girls hopping on that OnlyFans. I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean, maybe in my industry I see it more, but there's a lot of girls hopping on that OnlyFans. And, many dudes, as soon as we see a girl that's on OnlyFans, we're kind of just turning her off in our minds. Like, yeah, nope. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes sense that we would be heading that direction just with the idea of that sect. Yeah, I'm not saying this is the only reason, and you know what I mean? I'm just saying it's a partial reason why we're seeing less hookups is the technology that we're in is not just for the OnlyFans, but we also got VR. We also got people, able to create AI girlfriends and stuff like that, and they're happy. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of factors in technology that also might be influencing the statistics.
Well, let me ask you this. Um, this is a little bit personal. If you don't want to answer, and if I cross the line, please forgive me. Charge it to my mind, not my heart. Brother, do you have children?
I don't. I just have a cat.
Okay. Yeah. I thought I thought that was the case.
Yeah, and I'm very happy being single.
Right. I'm just,
Yeah.
I just, when most people that I talk to, most of the guys I know don't have children.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the guys I know don't have children. So, and I'm not attacking anybody. I just want to stay humble
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to attribute it to OnlyFans or,
Yeah.
poison. Like most people I know don't have children
Yeah.
in real time. So, let's move on.
Yeah. So many reasons.
Business Insider says Jeffrey Epstein reportedly wanted to seed the human race with his DNA as part of his fascination with transhumanism. Did you know about this?
Yeah, I have heard of transhumanism.
No. I'm talking about the Epstein
Oh no,
transhumanism.
no, but I'm kind of not surprised.
Right,
That's crazy.
They put the whole children in our face. The children.
Oh
But
yeah.
they didn't mention this part. All they mentioned was him diddling babies. No one said transhumanism. You talking about clones? Now you sound crazy. Yeah, because you were drinking the Kool-Aid watching CNN. If you watch CNN News, then everything I say is going to confuse you.
Yeah.
If you watch Fox, everything I say is going to confuse you because
Yeah.
your favorite media outlets aren't reporting.
I agree with that.
Let's move on. Transhumanism. Here's what it means. Transhumanism is a philosophical and scientific movement that advocates for using technology to enhance human capabilities and improve human condition, potentially extending life and even transcending current human limitations. Hey, you know that no country's ever come back from a 1.5? Yeah, but technology can transcend current human limitations. Never forget that. It envisions a future where humans, augmented by technology, evolve into a post-human state. This is the part of the Epstein Island they didn't tell you about. Nobody told me about this part of the Epstein Island situation. They just said diddling kids, then baby oil, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
According to geneticsandSociety.org in an article titled, Whatever Happened to the Mysterious Nobel Prize Sperm Bank? Brother, did you know there was a Nobel Prize sperm bank?
I did not.
Okay, let's read a little bit of it. It says, yesterday, the New York Times published a story about alleged ex-trafficker Jeffrey Epstein, his plan to seed the human race with his DNA and impregnating 20 women at once. Brother, why they say at once? What,
Mm.
because the way they try to make it seem as if he's going to manually do it one at a time, they didn't say they said at once.
Yeah.
Remember, this article is about a sperm bank.
Mm.
They're talking about some type of technology. Are they talking about transhumanism here? Well, let me
Mm.
keep reading. Or at his New Mexico ranch. Hold on, here we go. We got a clue. They they didn't say the island. How come they never mentioned the transhumanism with Epstein and they never mentioned his New Mexico ranch? They always talk about the diddling and they always talk about the island. Never with the transhumanism, never with the New Mexico ranch. Have you heard them report on that part?
Mm-mm.
No, me neither. Ain't that something? Anyway,
Interesting.
according to one scientist, he got his idea from the repository for germinal choice, a sperm bank that was designed to collect the sperm of Nobel Prize winners in order to fill the world with their genius offspring. Wait, what? When it sounds like something out of the movie Gattaca, the Nobel Prize sperm bank really was operational for 20 years. That's from 79 to 99 and based in California. It was founded by the multimillionaire and optometrist and inventor Robert Graham, an admirer of eugenics. Let me pause right there. Brother, have you ever heard of eugenics?
The word sounds familiar, but I don't. I can't define it right now.
Okay. Eugenics basically just means good genes.
Mm.
Good genes. This is what World War II was about. They wanted to do an ethnic cleansing and create a super race. Do you remember the blonde hair, blue eye Hitler Nazi super
Yeah,
race?
I remember that.
Yeah, that was eugenics.
It's like history repeating itself.
Ain't that something, y'all?
Yeah.
So now this is what this is. This is eugenics. They're they're taking good stock, so to speak. Anyway, it says it was founded by the dude, an admirer of eugenics who believed the human race was getting progressively dumber and that the only way to stop it was by filling the world with the genetic descendants of Nobel Prize winners. As part of his utopian vision or dystopian vision, depending on how you look at it, he also planned to recruit only married heterosexual blah blah blah. Eugenics. Basically, in short, eugenics is the self-direction of human evolution. One more time for the people in the back. Amen, church. I'm just being funny. Eugenics is the self direction of human evolution. Evolution is not no nappy head. What did I do say about them? The black girls who were playing basketball. Anyway, um, it eugenics is self direction. We're gonna make sure that ain't gonna be no naps. This hair gonna flow all in one direction, and we're gonna control the flow of the direction. Control the direction of the flow. Excuse me, dyslexia. So, why is all of this important? Let me kind of land this plane just a little bit. Certain words I don't want to say to trigger the algorithm, or
Thank you for doing that. By the way, I noticed that you
yeah,
use code words. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We want to be mindful. We want to be
Yeah.
coy.
Mm.
So the word we use is juicy.
Yeah.
Juicy population. Juicy constitute a small percentage of the world's population, generally estimated, say about 0.2%. It's very small. However, Nobel Prize winners, juicies have been awarded a disproportionately higher number of Nobel Prizes, with estimates ranging from about 20 to 25% the total number of the laureates across various fields. The new world population will be majority juicy. Remember, Epstein's a juicy. Never forget that. That's very important. And Epstein's pushing their agenda. Their agenda is global domination. Well, what's the plan? How are they going to do that? Well, let's get deeper into it and kind of see what they're talking about. So I think you were saying earlier to zoom out.
Yeah.
Well,
When in doubt, zoom out. That's what we do
when in doubt, zoom out.
in the crypto world.
Yeah, very smart. Very, very smart man. This is the world population growth measured in billions. You ever seen this chart before, brother?
I have not.
Did you know that the
Wow.
world's population jumped after the Industrial Revolution?
Mm-hmm.
The world population took a different change trajectory based off the Industrial Revolution. It says right here, I'm pointing like you can see my finger. This is 2010. We were at 6.9. Currently, we're at 8. A lot of people are saying we'll never reach 9.
Mm.
The world is the world is at its max right now.
It's being manipulated too. Do you remember the Georgia Guidestones? I mean, you might already have a slide ahead.
No, I don't. Keep on. I love it.
But yeah, the Georgia Guidestones had a thing up there. They recently destroyed it. Supposedly, some third party did it, but we were thinking that it's probably them themselves. But the Georgia Guidestones had a rule up there that said to keep the world population under, what was it, 500 million? I could be wrong.
Or you could be right. So yeah,
Looking it up right now. It says, yeah, under 500 million or less. It's one of the 10 guiding principles engraved in the monument, which also included messages about uniting humanity, guiding reproduction wisely, and balancing personal rights with social duties. And then they destroyed that. I mean, they put it in plain sight. And there's theories about why they do stuff in plain sight to, prevent them from getting karma. That's why they do stuff in your face. That's why everything is hidden in plain sight, so that karma doesn't hit them as hard because they warned in advance. Isn't that interesting? So they're still using the laws of the universe to protect their own karma by showing you in advance in movies, TV shows, and titles and stuff like that. And even having monuments to warn you in advance what they're going to do. That way, when they do it, they don't get the universal law of karma to get them back, supposedly.
Supposedly, yeah. You ever heard of the Cabbage Patch Kids?
Yeah. I remember the kids playing with that back in the day when I was a kid. The other kids, the younger kids when I was a kid, were playing with those. Yeah. Oh, wow.
So
I just put two and two together right now.
So yeah, we just saw the Industrial Revolution had a huge population boom to go with it. So this is from thoughtcode.com in an article titled Population Growth and Movement in the Industrial Revolution. Britain's population grew a lot during the Industrial Revolution, leading to more people moving to cities. So, the reason I put Cabbage Patch Kids behind it is because for this to happen, and at that in that short period of time, every woman would have had to been pregnant from the day she was born to the day she transitioned. So that blue line, that section right there, is the very small time frame where the population exploded. For that to have happened naturally, if and this is all in London, if for that to happen naturally, every woman would have had to been pregnant from the day she was born to the day she transitioned. I just want to make sure we're putting this in perspective that what we're looking at is basically impossible. So how did that? What happened? Well, some people say Tartaria, sure, no problem. Some people say Cabbage Patch Children. Some people say a combination of the two. But now that we're on the whole industrial revolution situation and we know that we had a population boom during the industrial revolution, let's see what the rich folks say about it. Klaus Schwab says the fourth industrial revolution will affect the very essence of our human experience. But the full quote is down here at the bottom. It says, "What the fourth industrial revolution will lead to is a fusion of our physical, digital, and biological identity." What? 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 What does that mean, sir? Short answer: cyborgs. Long answer: viewing the human condition as a disease and transcending humanity in the forms of longevity, bionics, cybernetics, Moravec, mind uploading, and overall view of rejection of flesh, both physically and spiritually. This is the new holy war. Oh, there's a religious war. There is a religious war. Oh, Crumb, you're going to have to sell your soul. Yeah, you're going to have to sell your soul. Now, what does that look like? I don't know. Well, I think we might have an idea. This all happened in London, the world's first megatropolis. It's actually mega city, but I think megatropolis just fits. Anyway, a megatropolis is an area with that exceeds more than 10 million people. In the 19th century, London became the world's largest city from a population boom. Less than a million inhabitants in the 1800s to 6.9 million by 1900s. This is a 100-year gap. London reached its peak population of 8.69 million in 1939 when World War II started. As soon as Hitler comes on the scene, I'm sorry, as soon as the man with the mustache comes on the scene, now don't nobody want to have babies no more? Hmm. Or maybe the machine got turned off. After the machine got turned off, you start to see this happen. After the man with the mustache turns the machine, oh, crumb, it could be the water. It could be, yeah. Oh, it could be the medicine. Maybe. The food.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly. Or it could be the man with the mustache. He stopped that party. And ever since he put a stop to it, things ain't just things just ain't the same for gangsters.
Mm.
So now, um, the elites, when they first started this whole thing in the 1800s, they made too many clones. There was a breeding program. We today, that breeding program that led to this population boom, people refer to it as the Cabbage Patch Kids. Some people say the mud floods of Tartaria. I'm not going to go with the Tartaria situation, but we know that there were definitely my in the hood. We had I didn't have a Cabbage Patch Kids, but I had like female cousins and everything, and they had Cabbage Patch Kids. I
Yeah.
remember Cabbage Patch Kids growing up. I remember even the Garbage Pail Kids, and I was like, why they got garbage like these dirty kids?
Yeah, that was a funny thing when they had the flashcards. Kids at school would have them.
Right, right, right. I remember
A
those.
lot of those were very disturbing. I remember at that
Very
age being like, ugh,
think
that's
Willie
unsettling.
during this particular time. This was during the time of the movie Willy Wonka. Did you see the original Willy Wonka movie?
Yeah, it was
Remember in the
weird.
in the Willy Wonka movie, they were all sleeping in the same bed. They were all sleeping in
Mm,
the same bed. They all had their clothes on. Everybody was dirty. Uh, it was just a very, they were living in squalor. They were in London. The movie Willy Wonka takes place in London. And the boy who gets the golden ticket, his family lives in squalor. It was like 10 of them in a house. Tell me, somebody Google it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Help me out. Talk black to me. Anyway, so yeah, that's this time when this where the city becomes overrun. London becomes overrun. Anyway, so now the industrial revolution, because they made a bunch of clones. It was a bunch of fake children, fake people. The elites made too many clones, making them worthless. There was a breeding program. Same thing with Yakub. Eugenics. Crumb, you sound crazy. Go look up eugenics and come back to me and tell me, am I crazy? They've been doing breeding programs for the longest. 90% of all dogs did not exist 100 years. 90% of all dogs did not exist 100 years ago. Pigeons aren't even real. Where pigeons come from?
aren't they a class of bird that have been
Where?
around for a long time?
Where you see pigeons at anywhere other than the city? Only I see
Oh,
when I go to the city, I see pigeons and rats. These are city animals. Dirty city pigeons are rats with wings. I only see them in
wow.
when I go into nature. I don't see no pigeons. Not them things I see in the city
There's no
because those
pigeons
pigeons.
in the forest or something, or there's no pigeons in like in the jungles.
I don't like
There
I know
might
about like
be.
doves and stuff like a dove.
Yeah, there's no.
Things like doves and like so I'll get into the pigeon
Mm,
thing in a second. London elites bragged about several industrial breeding programs. This is according to history. And it's I'm pointing like you can see my finger. It says Industrial Revolution. How early world fairs put Industrial Revolution progress on display. Now remember, when we talk about Cabbage Patch Kids, some people call them Coney Island kids. They're called incubator babies. They would put these babies on display at the World Fair. Where these babies come from? I should have put that in a PowerPoint now that I think about it. Jeez Louise. You know what? Let's go see.
he said, "Geez, Louise."
Right. Incubator babies, Coney Island World Fair. Let me take a good screenshot and I'm gonna go over here and add a good slide.
Screenshot to make the scene hot.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I seen some of your stuff too. Like not only are you good behind the scenes, you good on the mic as well. I didn't see a
Thanks,
couple of your
man.
videos.
I'm just,
Yeah.
reflecting back from being exposed to so much artistry.
Mm, come on. So now, let me see if I can find some better ones. At the World's Fair, they had babies on display. Like everybody was bragging about things that they had created at the World's Fair.
Hmm.
How come and what's that boy named Jerry Seinfeld? Uh, is Jerry Seinfeld daddy a incubator baby?
What's going on?
Jerry Seinfeld said he don't know where his parents came from. Hold on. Based on available information, there's no evidence suggests that Father Calvin Seinfeld was born prematurely or was an incubator baby. Hold on, let me go to the root.
Where did my parents come from? I
You're so
I
funny.
don't know.
Let me see if I can get it. They probably not gonna. Seinfeld, incubator baby born artificially. You can't hear what I'm playing, can you?
No, it's not. You can share it if you go onto your Zoom. You can click on share sound.
Okay, give me 2
It's in your
seconds.
share settings.
Go to Zoom. Okay, I see. Share sound. Oh wow. Okay, cool.
There it is. You can choose mono or stereo.
Oh, amen, church. Okay. Incubator baby. So let's see what Jerry Seinfeld says.
Early 1900s.
So there were. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna play. We're not gonna be able to see him, but you can hear him.
Early 1900s. My dad was an incubator baby in Coney Island. He was on display. They had just invented the incubator. He was.
You could literally tell me anything, I'd believe.
No, it's true.
Totally.
Your mom was an orphan. Your dad left home.
He was an orphan also.
What did each of them tell you about their situations growing up?
They didn't talk much about it, but there was a toughness.
Jerry Seinfeld and
Wow.
These people don't have no parents. We don't know where they come from. We don't know where they come from.
Now, is incubator baby also considered like a sperm donor to, you know how they do that? Like an artificial insemination? Is that the same thing?
This is 1800s, brother.
They weren't doing that with like a turkey
They
baster?
didn't. You can't do the turkey baster and get this.
Oh, yeah.
Every woman gonna have to be pregnant from the day she born to the day she transitioned for this to happen. That's not turkey baster.
Wow. Now,
that's breeding program.
can we also suspect that after the Industrial Revolution, it became easier for them to even track the ability to see that there was growth happening? Because we got to assume that they didn't even have the ability, like through a census or something, to even keep track of the rate of births. Or I guess they had the ability by just birth certificates and stuff like that, and tracking. You know what I mean? Like, was it a technology to even know how to track the birth rates? Maybe that was one of the things that went up also.
I mean, we've always had a general consensus. Like right now,
Mm-hmm.
we all know there's about 8 million people on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
Like even right now, there's babies being born and we don't know it. There's no way to track them, but we know, generally speaking, there's about 8 million people.
Yeah, they're off grid. But like in the United States, we got this whole system where the baby's born and has a birth certificate. It gets a social security number. It becomes registered, and then that goes into the registration system. But that process probably wasn't around back then, huh?
Well, that's just in America.
Yeah.
Like there's no way to know the exact numbers. We're just kind of
Estimating.
we have a general idea. Like even right now, we can't. How many people are in the world right now? Over 8.2.
I was going to say 7. 8.2 billion.
But there's no way to know because we can't track everybody. We don't have that type of system.
Yeah.
So, I think, when we start talking like that, we're speaking out of scope because, it's like counting the sand in the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, counting the sand at the beach. When we start talking about counting stars, we can't count stars.
Yeah.
We can't count sand on the beach. We can't count people. We're just it's about 8 million. Let's just leave it at that. Because it starts to get wacky, once we start to try to zoom in because we can't. But yeah, They were putting the kids on display along with everything else at the World Fair. London elites bragged about several industrial breeding programs. London experienced a flourishing interest in pigeon breeding and fancying during the Industrial Revolution, primarily during the 19th century. This is the era this era saw the popularity of fancy pigeons. Those birds we see in the cities, those are called fancy pigeons. Those don't occur in nature. Here's a closer look. It's called selective breeding and fancy pigeons. Pigeon breeders known as fanciers, breeding engaged in selective breeding to enhance specific traits in their birds, leading to development of various fancy quote unquote pigeons. These breeds exhibited diverse features, including this and that, blah blah blah. So now, just like a Dalmatian, I think here, let's just stick with pigeons for a second. This is not natural, brother. I think it's safe to say this is not natural. This is a breeding program. We created a mutant and we couldn't control it. It was created in the cities and they're bred to adapt for the cities. They live nowhere else. This is not natural. This is only in the cities. It's the same thing with dog breeds. Dog breeding in Industrial Revolution London. The Industrial Revolution in London and Britain as a whole brought about significant changes in society, including the way dogs were bred and perceived, from working dogs to champion animals. Prior to the Industrial Revolution, many dog types were primarily bred for their working abilities, such as herding, hunting, or bull baiting. While it's difficult to pinpoint the exact percentage, because I said 90% of dogs didn't exist 100 years ago, Skynet says it's accurate to say that a significant portion of dog breeds we recognize today were developed or became standardized within the last 100 years, particularly during the Victorian era. When I say Victorian era, think about the white girls that were wearing the dresses with the fake butt. Cinderella. Go back to Cinderella. Cinderella, Evil Stepsisters images. So Cinderella, Evil Stepsisters, they would wear those dresses with the fake butt. This is the Victorian age. We know naturally they not shaped like that. I like big butts and I cannot lie. These other girls can't do not. You know, she didn't have a fat butt. That's not all wise, right, and exact.
But isn't it interesting the illusion they create because they know? Yeah, exactly. I mean, now girls can get that, they can get that injected and have it, but it's just interesting that that's what's considered attractive to the male mind. You know what I mean? It's the big booty.
Never forget, these were the first BBLs.
Yeah.
Never forget, these were the first BBLs.
And I don't think it's so much about the booty being big as much as it is the shape. It's the S factor. Like they're walking. Tahuti went in on this when he was here. He spoke about attractive women being shaped like an S. That's why sex starts with S. There's so much S in portraying to female. And he connected that to the snake also, but that was going too deep. But there's an S shape for a girl to have that lower back curve into the booty and then going down like an S shape. So it doesn't necessarily, it's not necessarily all about that butt shape, but it's that curve.
This was born from Sarah Bartman. Are you familiar with her, brother?
Oh, not yet.
Sarah Bartman was the one who inspired those dresses. It was about the butt. Sarah Bartman was the first black woman to come to Europe, and this is during the Victorian era. And they started making dresses to imitate her. She's considered the first video vixen, Sarah Bartman.
And doesn't it psychologically create the idea of childbearing hips? That's why men find it attractive. Because we psychologically, like in our DNA, see it as like she is able to bear children because she has childbearing hips that creates that illusion.
The German women are famous for big hips as well, but I'm speaking specifically about a big butt. These Victorian dresses were based off Sarah Bartman because Sarah Bartman had a big butt. I like big butts and I cannot lie. These others can't do that. It was because of Sarah Bartman, and that's what made the Victorian era explode in terms of those dresses at the very least. So now when we go over to these fake things, like a Dalmatian, just like you're not going to find pigeons in nature, you're not going to find a Dalmatian in nature. Like if we set a Dalmatian loose, where do we set it loose at? Where do Dalmatians naturally exist at?
The fire station?
Right. That was pretty good. I was going to say like with zebras somewhere, but fire station's probably better. Right. So with that said, it says right here at the bottom, Victorian explosion. The 19th century, I think I read that already. No, I didn't. In the 19th century, particularly in Britain, was a period of intense dog breeding. What were they doing? What were they doing? What do you mean intense dog breeding? What do they mean exactly? Often referred to as the Victorian explosion. A Victorian explosion? You mean like this? Yeah, just like this. Now, I'm gonna connect the dots and confirm this is cloning, because this is the same thing Yakub did, or at the very least, grafting. Let me apologize for maybe speaking in extreme terms, but
you can also encourage breeding, obviously, by putting the right pair together. Maybe it was that type of encouragement to put the guy with the girl, and then give him a steak and let him get at it.
But Dalmatians, where do Dalmatians come from?
So Dalmatians, you're saying they're like a hybrid type of.
I'm saying just like pigeons don't exist naturally, Dalmatians don't exist. Rockwallers don't exist naturally.
Because they say the same thing about broccoli. You know what I mean? That it's not. Right. It's a hybrid that it's been created. So you're saying the same thing about Dalmatians?
Well, yes. When we talk about broccoli was grafted. Plant grafting. Because just like plants get grafted, Yakub did a grafting program. So you can graft plants. So the broccoli was grafted. That's all wise, right, and exact.
Wow.
So now you have the etymology of clone is twig.
So maybe they grafted Dalmatians? How did they know to add spots?
Oh, I didn't know twig and twin. Oh my effing God.
Wow, you accidentally just found that.
Well, yeah, I did. But the N and the G. Hold on. The C, the K, and the G. My apologies. It's not the N. It's not the N. Clearly, there's some connection, but nonetheless, I thought that was something else. Please forgive me. But nonetheless, twin and twig have a commonality. I didn't know that part. But the etymology, let me see what this says.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Twig is coming from the same...
Clonus?
Same branch. So a twin can come from the same branch?
Twig. Well, yes, the word clone does indeed originate from the Greek word klon, which means twig. The etymology of the word. So now we're grafting, we're cloning. The first clones were plants. So, Crumb, that's crazy. Can you clone plants?
Oh yeah.
A lot of dudes in California are cloning marijuana.
The company I work with has clones. Like you could just buy the clones.
Yeah, because somebody
cannabis.
Right, because the first clones were plants. I saw somebody. This was early on. Maybe I've won them over. I don't know. But somebody early on had said, oh, they put the cap up there. I said, okay, maybe it's cap, but never forget the origin of the word clone is twig. And when we talk about grafting humans, I don't want you to get lost. Let's move on. So yeah, just like 90% of dogs didn't exist 100 years ago, 90% of YT people didn't exist 6,000 years ago, between 6 and 10,000 years. 10,000 years ago, everyone's eyes were brown until someone living by the Black Sea, and the Black Sea is beside the Caucasus Mountains, just for anybody who didn't know, developed a genetic mutation turning brown eyes blue. Why they say mutation? Could this been some type of grafting situation? Let's move on. This is some academic source that I found, like a kid's school book or something. History of Western Civilization, Chapter 2, World Fairs. World fairs during the late 19th century and the early 20th century showcased the technological, why they say technology? Could they be talking about some cloning stuff? Industrial cloning, and cultural achievements of nations around the world sometimes displayed cultural superiority over colonized nations through human exhibits. Learning objectives, this is like a little school book or something, assesses the world fairs and their purpose in the late 19th and 20th centuries, the Industrial Revolution. Key points of this chapter. World fairs are international exhibits displaying the achievements of nations. Remember, they put babies on display. Why you put babies on display? Like, what do you mean when you put babies on display? Largely focused on technological and industrial developments. They were industrially creating children and they put them on. How do you know, Crumb? Because they put them on display at the World's Fair with everything else they were industrially creating under the guise of Industrial Revolution, when it was actually a cloning program, a breeding program, a eugenics program. European elites started the Industrial Revolution and the first big cloning experiments in London. Jerry Bergen wrote a book called Darwinian Eugenics and the Holocaust, American Industrial Involvement. YT American elites continued eugenics. German elites followed. Crumb, the Nazis were so bad. Be quiet. The Nazis got it from America, okay? Okay, so if anybody wants to be, pro-America, I love it. Listen, ain't no country greater than America, including Germany. So never forget, America was the plug. The man with the mustache tapped into the power of the occult and created a clone army. When did the Industrial Revolution end? The Industrial Revolution ended when the second he popped up, nobody had, oh wow, so no more babies? Okay, I guess no more babies. The man with the mustache had a clone army and was created with the help of alien technology. Crumb, y'all don't know nothing about Operation Paperclip. Why do people talk about Operation Paperclip so much, but they always leave out Herman Oberth, who was the head? There was nobody more important, too big to fail, more valuable than Herman Oberth. He was the head. The number one guy that everybody wanted was Herman Oberth for the whole Operation Paperclip. Just to kind of give you some context to why we're even talking about him. This is a quote from Herman. He says, "We can't take credit for our record advancement in certain scientific fields alone. We've been helped, and we've been helped by the people of other worlds." What you talking about, Willis? They said, by whom? He says, the people of other worlds. If anybody knows anything about the man with the mustache, They know he was working with the Palladians. That World's Fair breeding program that you guys were doing, creating those Cabbage Patch Kids and those Garbage Pail Kids that we saw in the movie Willy Wonka, those little dirty kids, that was nothing compared to what he was doing with Palladian DNA. That the whole blonde hair, blue eyes. Where were you getting the genetic DNA to create this clone army? Never forget the name Stormtrooper did not come from Star Wars. Star Wars adopted that. Remember the Star Wars clone army? Stormtrooper were the original troopers from the Nazi regime. Somebody talk black to me. Oh, Crumb, you sound crazy. Talking about clones. Fine, no problem. And I am crazy for all intents and purposes. I wear a well-fitted tinfoil hat. I forgot to put it on tonight. But nonetheless, there was a movie made called Boys of Brazil. It's a little bit famous now. Have you heard of that, good brother?
It sounds familiar, but I haven't seen it.
So in essence, I highlighted the most important part in blue. Well, Boys of Brazil was about Hitler's clone, the man with the mustaches, Jeez Louise, his clone army. All of the unalive men, they had sons aged 13 who all looked exactly alike. In the movie, it was about something else. The movie, they were over here just doing something regular. And then they discover they're cloning people out there in South America. And they're sending these kids out everywhere. Remember, these clones, they're not worth anything. They're not valuable. So now, because they're doing like some investigation, because now they found out about clones. So now the lead, the person they're investigating, he mentions that one of the adoptive fathers gave her a puppy in exchange for a baby. Here, I don't have any money. I don't have anything. A puppy. Sure. Okay, whatever. They don't have any worth to them. He traded one for a puppy. Go back to Willy Wonka. I'm going to say it, and I'm not going to stop saying it. They made too many of them. They didn't have any worth to them. Dad, where's it at? Right here. They made too many of them and they didn't have any worth. I was having a debate with somebody. Oh, slavery ended in 1865, not child slavery. You don't get child labor laws until 1930 something. They were working babies. I'm so happy black people, they don't gotta be in the fields no more. Why they got after babies in the cotton field? Yeah, I was gonna say I don't want to see no black kids. I don't want to see no black kids. They had babies. Nah, this don't look old enough. Hold on. Um, Here we go. Farm. I'm not playing with nobody. This is after 1865. Oh, crumb! I'm so glad we free. We don't gotta pick cotton. Well, who was picking the cotton after you got quote unquote free? They had babies out there. Why? They didn't get no because they were clones. They were Cabbage Patch Kids, Garbage Pail Kids. Go back to Willy Wonka. There was just too many of them. They're not worth anything. So I don't want anybody to, when in the movie, go back and watch the movie. In the movie, he gave one away for a puppy. Like, oh wow, okay, they're not really worth much. Here's a puppy. Here's a donut. Will you give me one for a donut? Sure. You know, what would you do for a Klondike? Whatever. I got 1,000 of them in the back.
Wow. You said
Every Oh
Klon,
my God.
Klondike.
It's all adding up. It's all adding up. Okay. Good catch. Good catch, my friend. Everyone knew the man with the mustache had a clone army. So I was talking to Skynet, in this case, ChatGPT. So I'm talking to ChatGPT, and you know ChatGPT like to argue. No, that's not true. So I was like, well, why do people say that then? So ChatGPT said, why do people think Nazis made clones? This idea comes from Nazis' fascination. There's the word, eugenics. There's that, there's that little word right there. Anytime I talk about clones, I'm talking about y'all not going to get away from eugenics. Everybody said eugenics was pseudoscience. No, Crumb, it's not eugenics, it's evolution. Evolution is a lie to hide eugenics. Skynet said eugenics. There's that word. Genetics and Aryan purity. What did Nazis actually do with genetics? While they did horrific experiments, they focused on selective breeding, and they don't say, Skynet didn't say cloning. Skynet said twin studies. Twin? What do you mean, twin studies? Okay, anyway. Eugenics. You open the door, I'm gonna walk through it. It was a hallmark of World War II, and America continued it with Epstein. The breeding programs, they're still being continued to this day, but quietly. According to CBS News, there was an 81-year-old man sentenced to, he only got 6 months, sentenced to prison for cloning giant Montana mountain king sheep for captive trophy hunting. This is dated October 1st, 2024. This happened like 6 months ago. Did you hear about this?
I did not.
Oh, why old boy go to Crumb, you crazy, Crumb. Crumb, you say these crazy. Why he go to jail for cloning? Like, this is the hillbilly in the backwoods of Montana. He went to jail for cloning? Interesting they would say that. These breeding programs. Y'all better stay woke. According to The Guardian, Epstein reportedly hoped to develop super race of humans with his DNA. Super race? You mean like eugenics? Because the article before said eugenics was cloning. So what are you talking about, Jeffrey? The registered ex-offender hoped to seed human race with his DNA by impregnating 20 women at a time, New York Times reports. Here's the New York Post, not to be confused with the New York Times. Epstein wanted to turn his New Mexico ranch into a baby-making factory.
Oh. No, that's just not a slang term for like, you know, like home that, you know, place where you would like, you know, smash. Like a smash house or something. You know what I mean? Like sometimes, you know, they use that term baby making as like, you know, that's where you get down. Like, hey, I'm going to the baby making factory, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about literally making babies. That's crazy.
This is all in New Mexico. Did you know that New Mexico is called the land of enchantment?
Hmm.
Remember, New Mexico, a lot of weird stuff goes on in New Mexico, bro. Area
Yeah.
51, the aliens. Like, have you been to New Mexico?
Nah. It's too
Bro,
hot for
like
me.
New Mexico, like when I it was I don't like New Mexico, bro. It's a weird energy when I went there. And the people there play on that energy. There's a weird energy. They know it and they play on that energy. They put alien pictures everywhere. And I'm like, like when I'm driving at night, there's no street lights. Like, come on, man. Why are y'all guys anyway? Epstein purchased Zoro Ranch in 93 from the former New Mexico mayor governor, Bruce King. Epstein built a house, build a house, that should be built. Sorry. Built a huge mansion at the ranch with a living room the size of an average apartment, American apartment. There were 10,000 acres, including 1,200 acres leased from the Land Commission of New Mexico. Yeah, sorry. Oh, wait, hold on. What did I? Oh, I didn't know I could do that. Zoro Ranch is a dumb. So this is Zoro Ranch,
Dumb what?
deep underground military base.
Ooh.
This is
Okay.
a cloning facility. It's a dumb.
Wow.
Deep on it's sitting on a plateau. Remember, no the top three states that have plateaus and big mountains: Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado. They got these really big mountains, high elevations, and they have underground fortresses underneath these inside of these mountains. It's called a dome. Zoro Ranch is a dome. It's a deep underground military base.
Damn.
So over there in Philly, they have another dome. It's called Raven Rock Mountain Complex Site R. Somebody wrote a book about it.
Hmm.
The story of the U.S. government's secret plan to save itself while the rest of us unalive. Raven Rock, deep underground military base. I'm not playing with nobody. Brother, have you heard of the Cheyenne Mountain Complex?
Nope.
Cheyenne Mountain Complex. This is in the Colorado Mountain. It's a Air Force base. Cheyenne Mountain Complex is a Space Force. I'm sorry, excuse me, not Air Force, Space Force. How could I, be so silly? Is a Space Force installation and defensive bunker located in unincorporated El Paso County, Colorado, next to the city of Colorado Springs at the Cheyenne Mountain Space Force Station. Remember, the earth is not flat, the earth is hollow. You can
Hmm.
get inside the earth through mountains.
Hmm.
There are mountains in Antarctica, but you can't see them right now. There's pyramids, all types of stuff. You can get inside. You can get to. It's called Shambhala. Inside the earth, there's a city called Shambhala. You should go there sometime. Really nice. That's what I heard. So, in their inner earth, you get to inner earth through the mountains. They have a deep underground military base. Bin Laden had a deep. Remember when Bin Laden would report? He'd always report from inside of a mountain. Hey, I've got some reporters, and I'm gonna, unalive them. I'm inside of a mountain. That was a dumb. Zeus had a dumb. Why are all the gods on mountains? Remember when Satan talked to Jesus and that tempted him 3 times? He went to a. Why he take him to a mountain? Why do the gods love these mountains? Is it a military base inside of this thing? What's going on, guys? Remember when Nimrod had a was that a what was inside of that thing Nimrod was building? Did it go underground? I don't know.
It
Anyway,
seems like it's more like fragile to drill inside a mountain because it would seem like it'd be more collapsible because it would be difficult to judge the stability of the mountain. You can have an internal avalanche. I don't know. I'm just thinking. Go ahead.
okay. Um, Zoro Ranch is a dumb. Remember, he's a juicy. So there has to be a religious theme. And mountains are perfect for God's work. And to the left of my picture is Mossad. Are you familiar with Mossad?
No.
Mossad is Israel's intelligence agency. It would be equivalent to the CIA or the FBI in America, Mossad. So here you see Mossad, this, which is there at the bottom. It says the untold stories of Israel's most effective secret service. So Mossad has the menorah on it because they have a religious theme. So Zoro Ranch is going to, be of no exception with the mountains. It's a religious thing. Gods love mountains. So Jeffrey Epstein chose New Mexico for a reason. A journey through the land of enchantment, and where the now unalive ex-trafficker and his co-conspirators found a haven for radioactive secrets. It's quoting a TNR. So this is just a couple clips from the article. Keep it short. There are sites where the Catholic Church hid PDF files, priests, and local parishes. One of those places is in Jamaz Springs, an isolated resort town. This is a picture in the background. The distance from Zoro Ranch, just a hop, skip, and a jump, 50 miles. Here, the Catholic Church still operates one of 2 treatment centers in the U.S. for PDF files. Priest. So this is the Zoro Ranch. Just trying to give you an idea of the landscape of the land of enchantment in this particular area where Zoro Ranch is at. Scientology's secret vaults. Crumb, you sound crazy talking about underground secret vaults in New Mexico. Okay, well, get a load of this. This is from the Village Voice. Scientology's secret vaults. A rare interview with a former member of Hush Hush Church of Spiritual Technology. Brother, have you heard of the Church of Spiritual Technology?
Nope.
80 miles northwest of Zoro Ranch is Trementina Base, a bunker and vault complex. Complex means like there's a Walmart in there, like a plaza, the complex, the Walmart, Dollar General, Wendy's. It's complex. It's a lot of stuff down there. A bunker and vault complex owned by the Church of Spiritual Technology, which is an elite order within Scientology. You talk about Scientology? No, I'm talking about the elites inside of Scientology. They're called the Church of Spiritual Technology. It's an interesting name, Church of Spiritual Technology. They've got an underground bunker right down the street from Epstein in New Mexico. Okay, tell me more. Well, here, let me breathe. Brother, what do you think about this?
That's crazy. I mean, there's really nothing else I could say. I knew the Scientology people were up to no good. I see them on Sunset. They tricked me. I was walking by because I was waiting for my homegirl to get ready. We were going to Disneyland, and she's like, "I'll be right out in like 15 minutes." I'm like, "Cool. I'm right here on Sunset." And then I didn't know where I was. And then these people were like, "Hey, get a free IQ test. It'll only take 10 minutes." I'm like, oh, I got time. Let's do it. I'll get a free IQ test. I want to see how smart I am. You know what I mean? I think I was about 24. And I go in there. I fill out this whole thing, and I fill out this whole test and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, what's my score? I wanted to know what my IQ was. And it turned out they had someone sit me down, and they looked at it and like, yeah, we suggest you read these books based on your test scores. I'm like, what are you talking about? I thought this was an IQ test. I didn't realize I had walked into a Scientology building, and that IQ test was a trick. It was a catfish. They pulled me in there, and they were basically trying to make me join their organization. And the first thing I had to do was buy these books. And the person that I was talking to, it seemed like they were trying to brainwash me, because like I was starting to know astrology. I already knew myself was a Pisces, and they don't seem to know any astrology. They don't. They're not into that. That's not their world. But that was my world. But they were trying to trick me in a way to say, oh, based on your IQ test, it says that you're kind of sad and you're going through things. And I'm like, no, that's not even true. It's like they were trying to like put emotions or things in my head. And I felt, with my intuition, even at 24 years old, I could tell like, wait, this is some bull. You know what I mean? I could tell they were trying to influence my mind. I'm like, these people don't know who I am. I'm a Pisces. You can't get into my head. I can get into their head, but they can't get into my head. You know what I mean? So I already knew, like, where am I? What is this? And then so they could tell that I wasn't malleable, so to say. So they kind of let me leave. But I saw other people in that same room that were starting to buy the books and believing what the people were trying to say. And I could not believe, once I walked out, I looked up where I was, and I'm like, oh, damn, this is a Scientology building. I had no idea I had walked in to what I thought was a free IQ test, a Scientology. But anyway, my point was that was the closest I ever been to it. But I remember feeling so like as if though they were trying to brainwash me. That was the only time in my life like I felt I caught them trying, and they were very sloppy at it. It wasn't even good. The person they tried to trick me was not very good at it at all. So it was very transparent to see it was some BS. But that's just my little thing. I wanted to rant on the Scientology stuff that I know about. And then all I know is that Tom Cruise is in it. And, they're using some nodes. They've got some science that they're using that is kind of like legit, like the detox box. I don't know that they're using the Raymond Rife frequency machine where you hold on to these nodes and certain frequencies can heal parts of your body. That part's cool. I agree with that. That's some technology that they're using and stuff like that. But I don't agree with the whole L. Ron Hubbard, Dianetics type of thing going on with the, you know what I mean? And that he's a science fiction book writer. And then he makes this religion. It's like, come on. Anyway, that's my rant about the Scientology stuff. But I think it's BS. But it's saddening to see such a cool actor like Tom Cruise be duped into it. That's all I gotta say about that.
Let me find out. AD done joined the cult.
They tried. You know what I mean? Because I can be rather gullible every now and then. I'll admit it's just my open mind. I'm a very open-minded person. But they couldn't pull me in when they were trying to tell me about myself. That's where they really messed up. Oh, y'all don't know. And I was like, I never got my IQ. It was all BS. I thought I would get a score. I thought they would say, "Oh, your IQ is 900, whatever." I just wanted that so I can go brag about it. It was fake. It was just a fake thing to get you to buy their books, and then join their organization, which was dumb. So I escaped that. But what an interesting experience.
Yeah. I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, neither did I.
You're so funny.
They weren't even close to getting me. I just wanted, I just wanted to know my IQ.
Yeah. He said he didn't even get his score back. He was pissed.
Yeah. So weird.
Okay. So Zoro Ranch is 80 miles northwest of this base. The location is hardly secret for the Scientology people. Since the Church of Scientific Technology logo is two interlocking circles with diamonds in the middle, which can be seen in aerial photos carved into high desert scrubs, ostensibly to help guide Hubbard's spirit back to its new body. What you mean? Brother, this is a quote from the Village Voice. To help guide Hubbard's spirit back to its new body. It sounds like cloning almost. Like you cloned a body, and when the spirit comes back, you're gonna have it ready in this deep underground military base paid for, sponsored by the Church of Scientology's highest, most elitist members. Brother, what do you make of this part where they say Ron Hubbard's body's going to go to Ron Hubbard's spirit's going to go to a new body in this vault 80 minutes, 80 miles down the street from Epstein's cloning facility?
Hmm.
A new body? This is the Village Voice. Why they say a new body? What you mean a new body? What does that mean? Why New Mexico? Why down the street from Zoro Ranch? Crumb, that sounds crazy. They've got this, you saying Zoro Ranch has this deep secret vault where they got these bodies? Yeah. And the Scientology, Church of Scientology is right down the street doing the same thing. So, yeah, it's not too crazy. Once Hubbard adopts a new body, once he gets his clone, he's expected to make his way to one of the Church of Scientific Technology bases. A Trementina-based insider told the Village Voice in 2012. That's where he's supposed to be raised and taken care of. Zoro Ranch wasn't Epstein's only New Mexico investment. He had other interests, eugenics, cryogenics, and theoretical physics. New Mexico filled those needs nicely. Groundbreaking work on all three fields has been done in New Mexico ever since the Manhattan Project. Hint, hint, wink, wink. After World War II, the U.S. imported Nazi war criminals to help run the fledgling space program. Stop saying Nazi, start saying NASA.
Aha. Now we're getting somewhere. Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Amen, church.
Mm-hmm.
So, the space program, including New Mexico. Oh, Crumb, the space program, they went to Florida and Texas. Yeah, that's true, but they also went to New Mexico, as Epstein needed help with those skills in rocketry and human experiments. You want to deal with rockets and human experiments? Go to New Mexico. That's the perfect place for somebody like Epstein. New Mexico is but one place in America where powerful people who enjoy the use of its land, in government, business, finance, religion, and science, have consistently demonstrated a pattern of deception. Epstein's ring was large enough and existed over a long enough period that one might see it as just one cell in a hive of secrets hidden in the desert. Remember, Colorado, Arizona, and New Mexico have the highest numbers of plateaus in America, all perfect for DUMBs, deep underground military bases. Some we already know publicly, some are private. The ranch was allegedly used as a location for sexual abuse and X trafficking of minors. Annie Farmer claimed as early as 1996 that she had been abused by Epstein and his friends at the ranch. After Epstein was first convicted of X crimes in Florida in 2008, he was not required to register as an X offender in New Mexico. Remember, they locked him up in prison. Now remember, when Epstein got locked up, they sent him to Camp Cupcake. And Epstein, yes, Epstein, when he went to jail in Florida, when he went to prison in Florida for his X crimes, He was free during the day, and he would go into prison at 6 p.m. And spend the night in the prison, and in the morning wake up and go about his business. That was his prison sentence. Crown, why you call it Camp Cupcake? So after he got out of Camp Cupcake, he goes over to New Mexico, which doesn't require him to register as an offender. Now the ranch, it's perfect because it's surrounded by land owned by the family of the former New Mexico governor, Bruce King. And the other is the state of New Mexico. Ain't nowhere to run. Release the hounds. You not getting out of here, bro. There's nowhere. You can't drive out of here. The driveway is like 10 miles long, some ridiculous, place out in the middle of nowhere. The members of the King family also appear, and this is from back then. There was no list. They called it the Black Book. Right now, we're calling the Epstein list, but back then they were calling it the Little Black Book, if anybody remembers that. But they were in the Black Book, but now, as we would call it, a list, they're on the list, they're in the book, whatever. And Epstein donated money to Bruce King's son, former Attorney General of New Mexico, Gary King. Never forget, Epstein was in bed with Donald Trump's Attorney General, not Pam Bondi. This was the first Donald Trump term. Bill Barr. Bill Barr was the Attorney General for Donald Trump during his first administration. Bill Barr, daddy name is Donald Barr. I'm sorry, excuse me. Hold on, I can't remember. Was Donald Barr Donald Trump's Attorney General? I think it was Bill Barr. Yeah, I was right. Believe your doubts, doubt your beliefs. Sometimes I be doing it. Bill Barr is the son. Donald Barr is the daddy. Donald Barr was the one who groomed Epstein in the first place. Donald Barr grooms Epstein. Then Bill Barr, Donald Barr's son, was Donald Trump's Attorney General when Epstein unalived himself. Supposedly. Allegedly. So now we know a part of the good old boy network is getting in good with the Attorney General. So not only is he in good with Bill Barr, he's also good with Gary King, the Attorney General of New Mexico, who's in the Little Black Book, or as you would say, or not you, but as the Johnny come latelys would say, the Epstein list. The state of New Mexico continued to lease to Epstein land even after the violations. The ranch was under Epstein's ownership, managed by a New Zealand couple named Karen and Bryce Gordon. They themselves in New Zealand hosted X parties. So these people are hosting X parties in New Zealand. Well, that made me want to look into New Zealand. New Zealand's, the situation over there, reproductive cloning is illegal, but therapeutic cloning is legal. How these are permitted for research so long as implantation is not done. They've got some loopholes. Basically, what I'm saying is that this couple they're operating under the same guise as Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, they're a bunch of perverts. Really? They're a bunch of perverts? Or are they mad scientists? Why New Zealand? Because the laws are loose over there. There's loopholes for cloning in New Zealand. And they're hiding under the guise of perverts. But let's back up. Let's connect the New Mexico situation to Epstein Island, and we're going to do that via Disney. So FYI, Disney had a game for little girls called Land of Enchantment. Never forget that. Never forget that. Very, very important. Never forget. Anyway, the Disney clone connection. The Mirror, look at the picture right here. The Mirror hosted, where's my, here it is. It's nice. Something's wrong with my mouse. The Mirror, Happy Family Disney 1985 Day, Long Lit House. I don't know. Can you see my cursor? No?
Yeah, I can see your cursor.
Okay, cool. And you see, there's Ghislaine Maxwell. And it says The Mirror right above Disney.
Oh,
I'm
damn.
sorry, right above, what's that guy's name?
Mr. Mickey Mouse.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The Mirror organized a Disney day out for the kids at Lord and Lady Bath's Longlit House in Wiltshire. Ghislaine presented a check for 100 stacks to the Save the Children Fund on September 13th, 1985. This chick gave the people 100 stacks to save the children, and what they didn't know, they need to save the children from her.
Hmm.
The irony of it all. But this is the Mirror who's hosting this event.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a tax write-off.
Right.
But yeah,
Yes, sir. That's true. That's true too.
maybe
Maxwell
yeah. Go ahead.
Maxwell hosted a Save the Children Disney party at the home of Lord and Lady Bath in 1985. Lord Bath's son was found unalive there at a following gala.
Oh, damn.
But let's go back to the Mirror. The guy on the left, that's Robert Maxwell, the father of Ghislaine. He's holding a paper that says Daily Mirror. Maxwell buys the Mirror. The Mirror, they're the one connected to Disney. Ghislaine. Follow me. According to NDTV World, who is Ghislaine Maxwell's father? Allegedly, he's a triple agent. Now, I've heard of a double agent. I've heard of an agent. I've heard of a double agent. I didn't really know about triple agents.
Hmm.
So now, he was an agent for Israel, which is Mossad. He was an agent for the UK, which is MI6. And he was an agent for Russia, which is FSB. He was a triple agent. So now the triple agent who clearly has some type of connection with Disney, his daughter, her boyfriend, gets connected with Disney. So Disney has a cruise line. And inside the cruise line, they have, you can see it in the background. One of the destinations is Little St. James Island. It's where we're going to take the kids to. Now, Britney Spears was a Disney kid. She first appeared as a Mouseketeer on the Mickey Mouse Club in 1993 at the tender age of 11, alongside other future stars like Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, and Ryan Gosling. All Disney kids. Remember, they told you. Well, here. According to Newsweek, Britney Spears' response to odd claims that she's a clone. It reads, on Thursday, the singer took to Instagram to address the theory. Music Times picks up and says, Britney Spears addresses the conspiracy that she's a clone. The Circus singer debunked a conspiracy theory that she's a clone and instead said she is owned by a little girl. Brittany, what you talking about, babe? Britney Spears said she's a 5-year-old. She's a 5-year-old in kindergarten who is moving to Mexico in a disturbing video. It sounds like your wires are crossed. Something's not clicking up here. Did you mean 42, 43-year-old? Did you mean to say New Mexico? Because you're kind of relapsing. Your clone situation is, because I knew you were a Disney kid, and I don't, these Disney kids, I believe they're clones. Anyway. Somewhere placed in elite families, fake adoption pipelines, even given child actor roles to shape public perception from birth. The Disney clone connection. Let me see. Can I play? I can't think.
You could play a YouTube video.
I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the audio's on.
This is a pair. The Onion makes jokes.
Yeah.
There's an African proverb that says, consider the source of your water. They do parodies and make jokes, family. It's a joke. So Crumb out here sharing sources, and it's really comedy. So I'm just going to spill the beans. It's just, see, Eminem said, a lot of truth is said in jest, which he stole it from Shakespeare, but in one of his songs, Eminem said that. So a lot of truth is said in jest. A lot of people be joking, but they be telling the truth. Shall we?
Yeah.
If you have kids at home, this next segment is for you. This Friday, the newest batch of Disney Channel stars grown in the Disney Genetic Engineering Lab will be unveiled to the public.
Right. Now, Tracy, most of our viewers are already familiar with a lot of the products that have come out of the Disney Lab. Yes. But how exactly do you create a Hilary Duff or a Miley Cyrus from scratch?
Right.
Well, we're going to find out exactly how it's done right now, because joining us live from the Disney Lab is one of their lead geneticists, Dr. Andrew Rourke. Welcome, Dr. Rourke. There's quite an operation you've got going on out there.
Thanks, Jim.
So the stars that we see on TV are actually grown right here?
That's correct. They're grown and developed here. We engineered their brains for advanced singing and dancing capabilities, even posing for photos. By the time they grow to desired size, these child stars are fully ready for the camera or the concert tours or whatever Disney chooses to put them in.
That is simply amazing. Now, how long does it take to actually create a star from scratch?
Well, not very long at all. We use the exact same DNA structure for all of our stars, and then we simply tweak minor details like hair color or skin tone.
Right, yeah, we do have some footage here of some of the well-known creations that have come out of...
That's good enough for that one. I don't want to beat
That's
that horse to
hilarious.
death. Yeah,
I sent you in the Zoom chat a YouTube video that is right along these lines. If you want to play it, it's 8 minutes, but you can play just like a clip of it if you want. But it would be appropriate if you see it. You can fast forward a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Have you seen this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you have seen it.
You want to go to this part, or you want to go to this part?
Just like the part where he talks about it, like himself being cloned.
Okay, this is childhood section. This is most replayed.
Yeah, let's try that one.
Okay, yeah, let's go for this one.
That's big. That's big. Yeah, a lot of lives get taken, especially younger people. We were losing our lives to drunk driving. You know.
Right. So, like at 16, you lost like 3 friends.
Turnout.
Okay. What was that like, being a teenager and suddenly seeing all that death around you?
There you go, the clone one.
This part.
Yeah. I mean, I'm actually looking.
Shout out Clonade. Shout out Clonade.
What's that?
Shout out Clonade.
Yeah. Well, you know, you could actually, as soon as you die, they could actually freeze your body.
Well, what happened with my first gen is they took the skull, because he initially had written in a will to the Raelian movement that if something were to happen to him, they can ship the skull over immediately to Clonade. So they can remove a fragment of bone that's located here. And in this fragment of bone, it stores all of your memories and consciousness. And with that, they can make a sufficient replica of yourself, a reproductive version of you, including your memories. And you can be selective as to which ones you keep or don't keep. And this process has been around for quite some time. Like Dolly the sheep was cloned back in, I think, the late 70s, early 80s, if I'm not mistaken.
Dolly the sheep?
Damn, Gina.
Wow. Was that not appropriate for what you were just talking about? Because that showed some mechanism. I didn't know that they just used the skull. Ugh, it's just kind of like... And they say all these people that we know are clones, but like, who knows if it's real or not? It's so... We can only speculate. That's crazy.
Who knows? Yeah.
But man, he spoke like it was like just another day. Like he kind of looks like a clone. He's saying he's a clone. He's basically saying this guy's admitting he's a clone. This is on Vlad TV, y'all.
Didn't what's that one rapper, Wiz Khalifa?
He can't be a clone. Wiz Khalifa's one of the top pot smokers.
Khalifa clone interview.
I think he's one of the few that can outsmoke Snoop. This guy smokes mad weed.
You ever met a clone? This is
Have I met a clone? Yeah, I think I met some clones before.
See?
Really?
So there's clones amongst us.
Wiz Khalifa's clone, ladies and gentlemen. The new single is out right now. So make sure you get it.
I don't know if you heard that. He said, "Have you ever met a clone?"
About clones right now. Is that what we're
I heard it.
And then you were gonna talk about clones? Come on, man. Just let the man talk. So then he started talking about the whole cloning situation.
Wiz is a stoner. This is one.
Have I met a
clone?
Yeah,
I think I met some clones before.
See?
Really?
So there's clones amongst us.
Wiz Khalifa's clone, ladies and gentlemen. The new single is out right now. So make sure you.
Why Charlemagne try to change the subject so quickly?
Yeah.
New single.
It's similar to, you know how we talk about some people are like NPCs. You know what I mean?
Player characters.
Right. It's like that can define someone who doesn't seem to have much direction and kind of just is there. You know what I mean? Kind of dumbed down with the fluoride mind. You know. Or it could be like an example of someone who's a clone who hasn't really is still kind of rebalancing and recalibrating themselves. That's just like an NPC energy can be portrayed, you know?
All facts. So the clone connection.
Yeah.
These allegedly are the Island Boys as children.
My Island boy.
Right. But now that I'm thinking about it, it looks like his age doesn't match. This can't be a good photo because it looks like Epstein right now, and it would have had to been Epstein 10 years or 15 or 20 years ago. Definitely more than, about, I don't know how old they are, but I'm just assuming it's not real. But let's just go with it. The clone connection, the Island Boys.
Whoa. That's them for real?
Yeah.
I was just joking around singing a song. You saying for real?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's why they call themselves the Island Boy. Damn.
And maybe that's a reach. So let's see if we can go deeper.
Oh my gosh.
They claim to be Cuban, but they're making pro-juicy versions of their hit song.
Hey, look, listen, I'm gonna keep it like it's orthodox. Keep it like we're looking for a documentary showing love, beautiful, the Orthodox Jewish community. I want everyone to understand and come together.
Oh my God. Those guys are NPCs for real. See, now I believe in cloning for sure. Because this is not all Generation Z. I've seen Generation Z. I've seen Generation Alpha. And yeah, like they've got some, something's a little bit off, but something's a little bit smart. But with these guys, something's wrong, man.
You seen what Charleston White said about his kid? Kid look like an alien. Yeah, I don't agree with the attacking the babies or nothing, but his baby do look like I don't know, E.T. maybe, I don't know. But anyway, Epstein's victim list, they all look the same. Perfect specimens for a breeding program.
Keep going. I'm gonna use the restroom real quick.
Yes, sir. They all have a breeding program, not just Epstein. All of them have breeding programs because they're going extinct. Check this out.
The stem cell technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go in and take it out.
It's painful, right?
Huh?
Is it painful?
Yeah, a little bit. And this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet.
He's talking to nothing but black girls. So they in there, everybody kikiing and they laughing and everything is cute, blah, blah, blah. But then that man start talking about, because they be thinking, oh, he just want to hit it. Nah, he want to take your eggs. And that doesn't mean that you stick around and he's going to harvest month to month. To get the eggs, he's going to take the... Press 000 if you understand. To get the eggs, they're going to take the whole uterus. Or at least everything from the fallopian tube on. These women are laughing and they joking and ha 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 and the drinks are pouring. That man had brought them there not to have a pervert conversation where they twerk and do all that. No, we're going to give you some anesthesia. We're going to put you to sleep. It'll be a non-paid for outpatient surgery where we take your uterus and harvest your eggs for our Billionaire Boys Breeding Program Club. Oh, Crumb, it sounds crazy when you talk about Epstein, but you notice when he starts talking, everybody stops laughing. When he starts talking about that, everybody stop laughing. Oh yeah, y'all ain't gotta worry. I press 000. Oh, you ain't gotta worry. I got my back. Oh no, the family in the building. Oh, the family's in the building. Okay. Shout out to Conscious Connect. Shout out to Solo. I see y'all in the building. So yeah, with that said. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Oh man, I hate when I do that. Okay, here we go. The clone connection. You must consider everything that comes your way about Jeffrey Epstein as a manifestation of his stated intent to make 25,000 clones of himself. This is what somebody said on X. The people who need, let me just get this out of the way. I can't see. The people who need people, the people who need people were driven to their doom via this promise to get people from a factory owned by Jeffrey Epstein. What is she talking about when she says a factory? What is she talking about when she says 25,000 clones? So of course, you know me, I'm gonna go to Skynet. I asked them, hey, what's going on with Jeffrey Epstein and 25,000 clones? Skynet says, no, there's no evidence to support the claim that Jeffrey Epstein said he would make 25,000 clones of himself. But, you know, I hate the way Skynet talks because they start switching up after that first, officially they say no, and then behind the scenes they say yes. Let me take a swig of this water.
You can convince ChatGPT on some things and you can correct it. And it'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. From that perspective, that's true. So right. It's very agreeable, depending on what you talk to it about. It'll agree with you.
It just because I've asked it so many questions and they always start out by saying no, then they'll follow up with a yes. Like, bro, just say yes in the first place. But that's me being nitpicky. Anyway. However, after they say no, reports indicate that Epstein, fascinated by transhumanism, this is Skynet, Skynet said no cloning going on, but he is fascinated with transhumanism. Never forget that. And eugenics. This is what Skynet says. Transhumanism and eugenics expressed a desire to seed the human race with his DNA by impregnating women at his New Mexico ranch. Some reports suggest he intended to impregnate as many as 20 women at a time. It's important to note that these plans were reportedly discussed with scientists. He didn't have these when Epstein was talking about this, he wasn't talking to Diddy. He wasn't talking to Hugh Hefner, who's not even alive. He wasn't talking to Tila Tequila.
I remember her.
Shout out to her. She was on it though.
Mm-hmm.
Like conspiracy wise.
Yeah.
Like she had a good tinfoil hat. Shout out to her.
Oh, she was
tried to
speaking out too.
Yeah.
She was
all
talking
facts.
about it.
Yeah. People thought she was just like this cute girl. Like, nah, she was woke in a good way. But yeah, shout out to Tequila. But no, so yeah, Skynet said when I was going to say Bill Gates and Elon Musk, when Jeffrey Epstein was talking about transhumanism and impregnating 20 women at a time, he wasn't with Donald Trump, grab him by the whatever. He was with a bunch of scientists. This is what Skynet said. Scientists at MIT, Harvard, and elsewhere face continued fallout over Epstein connections. Private jets, parties, and eugenics. Jeffrey Epstein's bizarre world of scientists. Brother, did you know about this part of Epstein?
Nope.
Because they only talk about the perverted stuff. They never talk about the transhumanism, the eugenics, the scientist. So now when I come on the internet, I sound crazy until we start looking at these articles. What kind of researcher did ex-offender Epstein like to fund? He told Science before he unalived, the felon said he liked rebels, quote unquote, and rarefied air, meaning the elites, in 2017 interview. Epstein liked palling around with scientists. Brother, what do you make of this part?
I mean, he was just building up his Rolodex. You know what I mean? Getting or he was blackmailing people, and you know what I'm saying? But like, we didn't know why. Like, it makes sense that it's more than just these little parties and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense that there's a bigger picture. So it's messed up, but I understand.
Epstein's link to scientists are even more extensive than we thought. Scientists took Epstein's money or associated with the financier after he was jailed for soliciting an underage girl. Some say they are sorry. Others didn't comment. When we say the Epstein list, why do we always talk about celebrities? You don't find it a little bit convenient that it's only Diddy, Oprah? They don't never talk about the scientists. They never. So now when I talk about the scientists, I seem weird because when we talk about the list, everybody want to talk about, some Hollywood actor. Am I missing something?
Yeah, something's going on.
Report. Epstein wanted to freeze his brain and spread his DNA. Why they never talk about this part? They just said he wanted to diddle kids. I thought all he wanted to do was diddle kids. What is all of this? I didn't know about this part. Elon, this is what Elon said. In the future, we will be able to save and replay memories. You could basically store your memories as a backup and restore the memories. You could potentially download them into a new body, you know, like a clone, or into a robot body. Sorry, wrong one. So now, even if Epstein is not alive, all he needed to do is just upload his memories to the new clone. If Epstein is alive and we find him, all he has to do is send a clone to jail. Oh, we got Epstein. No, you got the clone.
Wow.
Epstein, these they're not playing checkers. Oh, it's really simple. It's checkers. They just want to diddle kids. They're not playing checkers. They're playing chess. And in the chess game that they're playing, they've got all the moves planned. They've got a plan for if he gets caught. They got a plan for if he gets away. They got at the end of the day, he not going down. That's what he's not going to do. This is way more advanced than some list of Hollywood affairs and Hollywood who's and listen, family, this thing go way deeper than what they let on. Oh, Crumb, they're doing these things to kids. Listen, if you find out what they really doing.
Yo, I got something else to show you.
Please and thank you.
Because it's going mainstream. All right, let me get this back up here. 1 second.
While you're doing that, somebody in the comments says they can't download the soul, which is absolutely all wise, right, exact. And the point is, this is the new religious war. The new religious war is if you want to live forever, you're going to have to sell your soul in parts. And this is coming to you by the juicies. It's a religious war. I don't want you to think I'm talking science. Yeah, Crumb, this is not science. This is religion. This is a religious war. Amen, church. I yield. I'm sorry. Please, brother.
I wanted to show you this. There is this kid on YouTube. His whole YouTube channel is based on cloning. And he's not reporting on it. He's doing it. It's become he's a YouTuber that's cloning people, supposedly. His name is Kobe Person. I don't know if y'all know about this guy. But he's got this thing. Like, here's one with cloning Kanye.
That's me swabbing the DNA of Kanye West so I could clone him in my DNA laboratory. Long story short, I was in my DNA lab and got sent a video of Kanye West on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. The first thing I noticed about this video was Kanye was with a new girl. The second thing I noticed was he was at the Cartier jewelry store buying a ring for his new girl. I kept analyzing the footage that you sent me. I also knew that Kanye West never goes out in public. So I knew this would be the one shot to clone him if I could get to Rodeo Drive in the next 10 minutes. Thankfully for me, I live only 8 minutes away from where Kanye was at right now. I instantly ran out my DNA laboratory and drove straight to Rodeo Drive to look for Kanye West so I could swab his DNA somehow and clone him. I started by looking in every single window. I then asked every single person I passed if they seen Kanye, but she said no. I kept walking on the search for Mr. West, Mr. West. I was not gonna give up. I looked for 3 hours straight. I then asked the security guard if he seen Kanye, but unfortunately he said no. I found another security guard.
I'm gonna fast forward.
I got my big break. This guy said he seen Kanye exactly 5 minutes ago at a restaurant down the street. I ran as fast as my legs could possibly move to get to that restaurant. When I arrived, I started looking through the plants into the restaurant, analyzing and scanning the entire place for Kanye West. Finally, I found Ye. He was in the back corner with his side chick. Now, I had to figure out a way to get Yeezus' DNA somehow so I could clone him. As I'm about to walk in, the manager comes right in front of my face and stops me. He told me Kanye wants his privacy and to leave the premises right away. But as I'm leaving, I see Kanye West and his new girl get up off their table. I saw saw them leaving out the front door of the restaurant. I go into panic mode because I had to get his DNA somehow. I then see Kanye West and his new wife get into a blacked out Suburban. I had to think extremely fast on what I can do to get his DNA. I ran as fast as I can to my car, which I had parked right in front of the restaurant. We jump inside his
Oh my god, this is getting too
my
crazy.
DNA swab and tape it to the top of the broomstick. We then follow him onto a highway.
Oh,
I tell
come
the
on.
driver to go directly on the side of Kanye's car. And when he was not looking, I swabbed his DNA directly out his mouth.
Are you
I
kidding
got
me?
Mr. West DNA. I was so hyped, you guys have no idea. I get to clone one of my idols. I took Ye's DNA and put it inside my sterile chemical grade case. I was shaking like my 90-year-old grandma. I put the tube inside my bulletproof casing and went back to my laboratory to clone
He
Ye.
swabbed
Back at
his
my
mouth.
laboratory, I had the DNA of the greatest human
Look at
alive.
this kid.
I opened up my bulletproof protective casing. I carefully took out your DNA that's inside my chemical grade case, using sterile tweezers to extract the DNA from the tube. You can see Kanye's DNA directly on there. I even did a smell test to see what his DNA smells like. My assistant then handed me a sterile agar plate. I then carefully placed Kanye West's DNA inside my agar plate. I then added TE buffer solution. What this does is sterilize and prevents the DNA degradation. I placed just enough to secrete the entire Q-tip DNA swab. I then placed it under my $54,000 microscope. I put it on 2000x zoom and even had my assistant check it out to make sure it was good. What you're looking at is DNA ligase. It's a protein used to join two ends of DNA together. After everything was good, I extracted the Q-tip from the solution and placed it inside my DNA incubation Vex store. What this does is create a vortex to secrete the DNA into the liquid solution. I then left it spinning for over 32 days straight. When I came back, I removed the DNA Q-tip from outside the solution. I used a medical sterile syringe to extract the DNA infused liquid and place it inside my chemical grade tube. I then very carefully tightened the cap onto it. I then placed Kanye's DNA inside my microcentrifuge system. What this will do is spin at rapid speeds, almost at the speed of light.
Dude, he's
I placed
doing
the
it.
protective covering on top. This is currently your clone after 2.5
What?
months. And if everything goes correctly, soon I will have Kanye West for myself.
Now, I know that's kind of far-fetched, but his whole channel is based on that. He's going around cloning people. I just, is it fake? It's probably just a joke. One of my friends from the club actually got onto this show and everything. The guy goes through and does it, but we're not sure if he's actually cloning. Like I've never seen something halfway cloned. It's probably just for views. I get it. But man, he's got a lot of content. And then he shows like these little things being created. Like it's gotta be fake. It's gotta be fake. But there's a lot. This guy's getting mad views on these things. But does he have the process down? I'm not gonna play a whole thing
That's
again.
me swabbing the
But it's just amazing. He's got all the scientific stuff going on, but I don't know. I just want to show you guys out there. This kid's like supposedly cloning people, and he's got all this equipment and stuff. But then again, it could be fake. It could be just for views. Who knows? But I thought I'd throw it out there because I thought it was interesting. Crazy, right?
Well, I don't want to say that word is a little too dismissive. The truth is stranger than fiction. There is a contract with the Galactic Confederation where they have to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So now the caveat, the loophole is that they don't have to tell you how they're going to tell you the truth. So let's go back to New Mexico real quick, the land of enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
In particular, Roswell. So when we're dealing with Roswell, directly after the Roswell situation happens, then America or the industry launches the genre of sci-fi. Let me just help the family out. Nobody says anything about aliens, nothing at all. There's a big crash in Roswell, New Mexico. And right after that crash, there is a huge push for a genre called sci-fi. What I'm telling you is that they presented sci-fi, science fiction, to the average person, and they started showing us Star Trek and things like this as a part of their agreement with the Galactic Federation to tell humans about aliens, but in a way that won't cause public panic. So the Galactic Federation has agreed to this, and they've used things not only like sci-fi to be able to tell us the truth without us going crazy, and they've also used Hollywood. Remember, most Hollywood movies, a portion of their budget is funded by the Department of Defense, the DoD. The DoD fund has a I don't even think it's secret. It may be a public situation. The DoD has a public situation where they have a contract with Hollywood, where all Hollywood movies or most Hollywood movies that have some type of funding have to go through the Pentagon for approval. That's why a lot of these Private Ryan movies have such big budgets, because the military is pushing that. Or when you see these movies that have a pro-military Captain America-esque situation, it's because it has a military funding. It has military funding inside of it.
Wow.
And that's because of the Galactic Federation. None of this ever took place prior to the Roswell crash. After the Roswell crash, you're going to see Hollywood, you're going to see sci-fi, you're going to see the Department of Defense funding these things.
Wow. That's crazy, man. Well, outstanding presentation as always. Is there any closing statements you'd want to make about all of this? I have no questions, because damn, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, well, final thoughts. Epstein was not a pervert. The whole salacious angle was nothing more than an angle. Remember, this whole thing was nothing more than a honey trap anyway. That particular portion was the honey trap, the blackmail part. Outside of that, remember, we know that Bill Gates is on the list because his wife divorced him because he kept going to the island. Now, you want to think that Bill Gates was diddling somebody? Fine, no problem. I'm not saying he wasn't, but we know Bill Gates is the tech guy, and he's one of the most notable scientists. There were tons of scientists over there, but the only one that ever gets named is Bill Gates. According to old girl, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's going to get a pardon. Well, I don't know. They're talking about pardoning her if she says whatever Trump wants her to say. I don't know. But anyway, my ultimately closing thoughts, now that I've kind of said that. Oh yeah, plus the world's going extinct, so they're using the clones to help do a world fair situation again. But anyway, ultimately, my name is Crumb, the master student of CrumbTV. Come over, tap in on CrumbTV. I do lives, but I'm trying to do a lot more edited content. My edited content is by far my best work, where I put music behind the lectures, all the images, all the receipts, blah, blah, blah. And I'll condense these 2 hour long monologues, diatribes, and put them into like 15-minute bite size, or even in the shorts and stuff like that. So tap in with me. I am your humble brother Crumb. I want to close by saying shout out to the people listening now, those who are going to catch this later. Shout out to the Podcraft room, the people under the sound of my voice. I see you, I love you, I appreciate you. Shout out to AD, the host with the most. And last but not least, shout out to the God himself, Almighty, the God MC, Killah Priest. I'm humbled, honored, and grateful. I'm your brother Crumb.
Hey, that's what's up. Round of applause. Give it up for CrumbTV. We're going to have the links to his channel in the description. Know what I'm saying? That's what's up. Great job. That was cool. All right. So y'all feel free to hit up the super chat if you have any questions. We've got Crumb here now. We're going to go on to the song promotion segment real soon, but you can still ask a question throughout that if you'd like. I'm saying, are you gonna stick around for the song promotion segment? We don't have that many submissions today. Nice. Okay, let's go. Let me pull that up real quick. It's funny when you ask ChatGPT about cloning, it totally denies it. Like, oh yeah, we've cloned animals, but never humans. It would be too unethical. But that shows the extent of what ChatGPT knows, you know? Interesting. Okay, let me see. One. And looks like we got one so far. All right, I'm going to go right into the intro. But before I do, actually, hold up. I just got a submission here from Priest. Priest is doing some things right now, but we have now the ability to leak the track list for Abraxas 2. So y'all get ready to screenshot right now. Get your screenshots ready. Hold up. I'm gonna bring it in right here. Let's see, I'm gonna bring it in right here. 1 second. All right, there it is, y'all. Feel free to screenshot that. That is the leaked track list for Abraxas 2. Go ahead and screenshot that if y'all want to. We've got the album. It's getting prepared for launch. When is the launch date? We don't know yet. We're probably gonna be able to. Well, Priest will probably announce that on his live. So make sure y'all are subscribed to Priest on Instagram. And he also might release some information and or sneak peeks on his Patreon, depending on what tier you're on. But there's the track list for the upcoming album, Abraxas 2 by Killah Priest. Let's see. And then y'all know the cover right there. Okay, it's not the whole thing, but you get the gist of it right there. Boom. Abraxas 2. All right, so that is that announcement there. There's the cover. Y'all saw the track listing. And then the date for when that pops up will be announced very soon. All right, let's go. Next, now we're going into song promotion.
When we send in your music, we play it live on the show for Killah Priest and the world to hear.
I gotta figure out why it stutters. It didn't used to stutter like that. That's weird. All right, so the submission we've got so far here is from G Smoke from Grand Rapids, Michigan, with a song called Barbarian Werewolf. The MP3, here we go. Oh shit. Sorry. I still had the whole thing muted. We gotta take it from the top. Here we go, one more time. Crumb, what did you think about that? Are you there?
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, melodic. Cool. I liked it. I mean, I'll say this. I've heard beats and initially I didn't like them,
Mm-hmm.
but then somebody rapped over them. I think I didn't really like Timberland beats until I heard Missy on them, and it was like a whole different energy. Like, oh wow, okay, I can see it now. Um, well, when Pharrell did Noriega with him, I think for Noriega was the first one to rap on a Pharrell beat, and it was different. And with that beat, I can't write it off because if the person gets on it, I think that beat has a lot of potential. I'm gonna give it one thumb up.
All right. That's good. I liked it also. I think it was a good mix. I can definitely hear somebody rapping on I can hear Priest on that too. So G Smoke is asking about the production team for Priest. Priest kind of handles all of his own beats and everything. But if you want to send that to him directly, it's info@killahpriest.tv. Don't send to me because I don't really record Priest. I handle the mixing and mastering, but not in all songs. Just in the songs that he wants me to mix and master. Depends on the project and the album. But if you want to send that to him, he does listen to every beat that is sent to him. So info@killahpriest.tv, G Smoke, if you want to send that. Also, he's listening. If not now, he'll listen to the show later, so he'll also hear it on the song promotion segment. But that's what's up, G Smoke. Great tracks. Keep submitting. He's from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I thought it was a good beat. I can't think of anything critical really to say about it. I like it. Well, we've heard some G Smoke before, so that's cool. It's good stuff. Shout out
to G Smoke. What up though?
That's what's up. Let me hit refresh and see if we have any more submissions for today. That is it. So shout out to that one submission. So just a heads up for everyone that we're not gonna have a show on Sunday. We got Priest's birthday on Saturday. He's gonna be out of town, but yeah. So he'll be out of town, but he will be back for next Thursday's show. So a week from today, he should be back here. I'm trying to set it up so that we have like a little surprise, a little celebration for him on that day. So we're gonna have like a Podcraft Priest birthday party next Thursday. But make sure you hit him up on Saturday to wish Priest a birthday. Happiness right there. What would you call it? Grand. What's another version for saying happy birthday? They say happy solar return. You know, happy born day. Whatever you want to say. Just hit up Priest for that on Saturday. And that's what's up. All right. That is it for the song promotion segment. Once again, you'll be able to check the description to check out CrumbTV's channel and make sure you subscribe and get all that great knowledge and information, especially from his past videos. He's got some amazing videos in all kinds of topics that you can imagine. Crumb goes deeper than most YouTubers, so you can compare him because he's got a lot of great topics and info, and he'll go deeper than most will expect. And he's got illustrations and very good PowerPoint presentations. And he cites his sources too, which a lot of other YouTubers won't do. So make sure you all subscribe to CrumbTV. And once again, the link will be in the description. All right. So that's that for that. We're going to close out the show with an Abraxas track. Let's see which one. Shout out to everybody who followed along. Yeah, Solar Return. That's good. Shout out to Hank McGurk, Gemini Slim, everyone who's been in here. We had like a good 120 people watching at one point. Let's see. Close out with. Let's see. We do Anak. Yeah, we can do that. We'll close out with Anak. All right, y'all. Crumb, thanks again.
Thank you, brother. Salute.
Right. Until next time. Peace.
They sent the spies from the 12 tribes. They felt vibe from men whose stature was high. No lie, Joshua and Caleb reported that they saw walls with alligators and satyrs. The screech owl, men renowned, each bow. I see down above this weed cloud. I'm flying. The land's packed, the sons of Anak. Know where they camp at. A black man sat wearing a ram's hat. Demanded tax. In his sand with traps. In his hand an axe. Metal headband with cracks. His face was scratched. Shisha, Ahiman and Telma. El was their allies. Brothers that fell from high, the evil that dwell inside, the people that swell in size. 12 spies, they came to a brook where they saw a great bush. They saw grapes and took how amazing they look. The place was called Escol. Look at the death toll, so grab the grapes and let's go. The Jebusites place heads on spikes. If they see Israelites, then they're dead on sight. So they fled in the night, reporting back to Aaron and Moses about the people before Adam and their culture was the oldest. They said they heard of their grandfather Arbor, wore giant armor, defying honor, triumph and conquer. Rapha, Genesis 6, printed on bricks, Enuma Elish, the tombs of their prince, left ruins huge in the cliffs. Japheth, Ham, and Shem, Anakim, sons of God, daughters of men, they slaughter for skin. Read about them, Job chapter 1, verse 6. More verses, Job chapter 38, verse 7. There's many more sons that lurk the heavens. Look the book of Daniel chapter 3, verse 25. Wings with plenty eyes, the demigods, kings built their cities high. Ben Ha, Elohim, some say spawned from the devil genes. That's one way, but what of the Holocene? But as the days of Noah were, so shall the Son of Man supernova occur. We go into her, Asterith, Ishtar, and fish gods. Molech, slow death, cut the throat necks. The lamb's blood, the bull's horn, then wears the goat flesh. Goliath, the giants, the tyrants. Osiris, see the carving of Gilgamesh, that whole lion. 700,000 mail-clad horsemen and chariots of fire. 700,000 torch bearers and cross wearers. They saw seraphs, Zoid shepherds, protected by cherubs. 800,000 angels with daggers of fire. 1 million slingers and shield bearers in front of messiahs. 400,000 bearers of lamps. 500,000 through the fiery axe. At the Nephilim camp, the sons of Anak. The impact took man back. The book of Numbers, ancient Cush and others. The south of Hebron, winged people before Edom. The king of Edom sits with his queen and she's blonde. Be gone, sons of Anak, near Iraq. Cross the map, they're back. But of course we're at another story.